Welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog. That is David, aka Dream Twister, and this is The Real, episode 319. GG's The Mouthful Podcast.
Hello, Governor. You like that? You like that? Or
Was
you
that
like
supposed to be Governor?
Chim Chin Chiroo.
Okay.
GG Chiroo.
Oh my God.
GG.
There it is. Yes, we just need that in the regular English
The regular version.
Latino accent yelled at the highest
so
pitch
we
possible.
don't want the English version or the heavily distorted, supposedly English version.
Heavily distorted indeed, sir. Heavily distorted indeed. Welcome, guys. I am so excited. It's been one hell of a week. I didn't want to say, I was going to say something else, but let me just keep it to, it's been one hell of a week. And I am so glad we're here getting together. Sir, how have you been? How has been your week?
Dude, I am super excited about the fact that we can finally talk about all these NDAs that we've been holding dear and dear to our hearts that we haven't been able to talk to. I mean, we went to it. We did Judges Week, and
yes, because that's still a thing.
That's right. And then I mean, we saw all of these games and we just couldn't talk about it. We're here to lay them all out. Finally,
we can lay it all on the ground, talk about everything that has been.
And then I woke up.
Yeah. Do you know,
I still want to go to E3 some point.
I was going to say, if E3 came back, would you actually go?
Well,
would you chance considering the, the issue, right? We still got COVID out there.
Sir, E3 is not dead. A. B. I will definitely go. I'll be probably wearing a bunny suit, but I'll definitely go. And bunny suit as in the not a not a rabbit suit, as in the protector suits.
Oh, the hazmat.
The hazmat, exactly. There you go. I'm thinking about the ones that they use for making microchips and shit. Anyway, and yeah, because you're right. Because at this point, this gatherings of people, especially gatherings of nerds. No offense to my nerddom and my good people, but I've been to a couple, and they're not the most what I would call hygienic.
Far from it.
So you definitely got to be very watchful.
Oh yeah.
But I've never been on one of the main events. Like I've never been to like a PAX. I've never been to obviously E3 or anything like that. The closest that I've gotten is probably was one time they brought in they had like it's like a mini convention. It was around the time the Wii was coming out, actually.
Oh wow.
I remember.
Right.
And they had it was at a hotel. I don't even remember which one.
But here in Orlando or somewhere else?
Yeah. It was in Orlando, but it was something minor. It was mostly, I think it was. You know what? I think it was like more like a tournament, but of like different titles, not of anything in particular, not like a fighting game title or anything like that.
Yeah,
because I remember wanting to enroll into for Halo.
Ooh,
my ass handed to me because I'm not a great Halo player. Actually, scratch that. I am not a great player. So
okay, let's not go out.
Let's bring it back. Yeah, my reaction time is not what it was.
It's okay.
If it ever was.
There's always somebody slower, sir, and that's who you take advantage of. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, if they put me against 3-year-olds, then I might have a chance.
You may be able to do it. Might be able to.
Yes, I might have a chance. Yes.
Fair enough. Yeah, the only thing I've ever went to that was slightly close to that was when we went to MegaCon, and it had like a section that had a little thing about a gaming, but it was very small, and I wasn't even there for that. So that was about the only thing I've ever gone to. But that gets full, you know what I mean? And it's just like you can only imagine, man. COVID, now fucking monkeypox. Where the hell did monkeypox come from, bro?
This is, I mean, this is how we isolate. This is how humanity finally isolates itself from contact, and we just all go to live in the meta.
Either that, oh god,
Yeah,
either that or this is how we wean out the weak ones, right? This is how the
oh,
survival of the
the
fittest
week.
happens. Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
shit. I don't want to subscribe. I'd rather live in the meta and not know what's happening in the outside world. Live in my fantasy virtual reality world.
Fair enough.
Problem is that the frame rate is gonna probably suck.
At least at first it will.
Yeah, exactly. It's not gonna be a good experience. We still have a good 10 years before we can actually say we become medicines.
Oh
Is that
god,
what
is that a real term?
No, but I'm gonna coin it right now.
Oh, nice. Okay.
We're gonna be medicines. It sounds
Medicines.
awful.
Yeah, it does kind of sound awful. Almost medicinal.
That's what they're gonna call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna be paying in crypto and
Oh god, can we get out of the crypto and the and the
NFTs,
the NFTs? Oh god,
crypto
we
and
need
the
to
NFTs.
get past that. That needs to eliminate.
Well, I mean, if you
The
think
weak
about
folk.
in the virtual world, it will flourish, right? Because there will have to be a way that you could actually pretend there is distinction between things.
Yeah, but
Uh,
the yes, in a virtual world, potentially it would flourish.
Potentially.
But if I can copy it and not have anything happen, and also put it in my virtual living room, does it really matter? You know what I mean?
It's the same reason why you will buy oh, do you want a Monet or do you want the Walmart version of a Monet? It looks similar. You can just put it in your bathroom. It's that.
No one wants that unless it's the real thing. That is the
Exactly.
truth.
That's what I'm saying. But I know what you mean. When it's digital, you can actually make it. It's an exact copy. It's a bit
Yeah,
by
exactly.
bit recreation. So who cares?
Like, and
That's
it
that is
almost
totally true.
cannot be right. You can't even tell the difference, in the code, right? It's literally a copy of the code.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why NFTs have to find a way of 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 making that, like, serializing, that particular copy that you have. Make it
Mhm.
so that make it so that all the computer, because those are basically what NFT ends up being. It's like every computer in the world uh that computes this kind of stuff agrees
And
that you
recognize you.
have
Mhm.
version 1 of whatever the hell it is. And that's how you say, oh, well, I have the exclusive. It's just because it was decided by computers that you had that option. That's what I'm saying. We're screwed, bro.
Yeah, yeah. The
We
more I
are,
hear it, yes, we are.
more and more we're giving
Yeah.
we're give and this is from a tech technology fan, from a technology enthusiast. But more and more we're giving power to the machines. The other day there was a a news bit about a Google AI, or an AI that was developed at Google, that had suddenly become sentient
Oh,
and
yes, I
aware of
heard. Yeah.
itself. And at first it sounds like, it sounds ridiculous on the when you read the headline, but then you see the questions that is asked to the computer and the way it responds, and it is nothing short of creepy. Because it's like, that's how the Matrix started.
Yeah.
Right?
And Skynet. Yes.
That's exactly that's how Skynet started. It was just one machine that suddenly became aware of itself, and develop feelings, because I mean, what are feelings if not, zeros and ones that are happening, on and off switches that are going on our neurons, on our brain, right? Our brains are the fastest computer processors in the world. The problem is we don't have memory for shit. Um, but they can process, they can process. What is to say that computers can develop something similar, and next thing you know, you have a computer like literally fearing for its death, as that one was that one was mentioning. I don't have the excerpts, and I wouldn't read it. If you guys are interested in reading about it, you can Google well, you can Google it. Google AI. It's ancient. I'm sure it's gonna appear. Use Google. I'm sure they'll appreciate it.
I'm sure the AI will see that you're looking for it.
Exactly. I'm afraid I can't let you read that, Naldo.
That is freaky, bro. That it's
Dude, it's fascinating
because of the and I think it's mostly, who knows, right? It could probably be just fine, but because of all the sci-fi films we've seen, it's like, nothing ever good happens here. So I don't know. Unless you think of Centennial Man, but I don't know if you like that.
It's not. No, it's not fine because unless you give, because the movie's trying to make it like, well, you give it directives. Well, it's a fucking computer. Of course, it's gonna know how to bypass the directives. It's gonna know to hack itself. It's gotta know how to do whatever. The moment you give like real intelligence, like real artificial intelligence to a computer, that's the end of the world. That's how everything ends. We become batteries for the machines.
That reminds me of, right, we become the copper tops. That reminds me of a cool Star Wars novel that I remember reading. Was for the bounty hunters. It was one book, but it had like several short stories of all the bounty hunters that were there when Darth Vader was hiring them to find Han Solo, and of course you had Boba Fett and everything. Boba Fett, I think, was the last book in there, but somewhere on the line you had the one that looked like a robot, IG-88.
Yes,
yeah,
I remember which one?
Yeah, so did you? I don't know if you read it, but it was the first few pages of the book went into the waking up, like his coming to terms with that he is someone, and he is a thing, and he's alive, and it's the first maybe 5-6 pages of the story. Those 5-6 pages in real time were like a couple seconds. but he was computing all this information like super fast, he just realized this person's there. So it wasn't until I get to the 5th, 6th page when it mentions how long the time has passed, and I realized, oh shit, this is happening so fast. So in my own, because when I read these, this is actually, I read this, wasn't audio. When I used to read these, I used to sort of just picture stuff. So I picture stuff moving as he was viewing them, and then when I realized it's only been 2 seconds, I'm like, no, everyone is still as if he's super fast. You know what I mean? And I was just like, it just completely changed the my opinion of that particular bounty hunter, because every time I saw him in the original, because he was just a fucking
he looks like
thing standing there. Yeah, he wasn't really.
He looks worse than Trivio. What the hell is this?
Yeah,
and Trivio moves at like 2 miles per hour.
Exactly.
Not even.
That's why I appreciate. You haven't seen The Mandalorian, but I appreciate The Mandalorian because there is another model IG-88 that I'm like, okay, now I see why this is a dangerous thing. You know what I mean?
They showed him in action, and
they showed him, and he still moves funny. You know what I mean? But when it's almost like he has like full 360 view, and so he's shooting here, and he's it all obviously looks robotic because he's a robot. But it kind of changed. I was like, okay, all right, now I can see how the original IG-88 freaking bounty hunter was so badass. You know what I mean? Because it obviously would have come from this. But anyway, not to get off topic.
We definitely don't want to go into the actual podcast. We just want to shoot the shit and talk about anything.
Yeah. At this point we do. But we do have a job to do.
I guess.
I know. But that said, guys, welcome. Thanks so much for tuning in. If this is your first time, please go to goodgame.rocks, join the conversation there. And of course, please like, subscribe, share the podcast with everyone. What we normally do is first we go into what we have been up to, move on into some news items, and then, of course, we finish with our hot topic of the week. This week's hot topic: best laid plans. Yes, we're talking about Microsoft primarily. Microsoft's best laid plans. They laid out their games to be released within the next 12 months. There are some glaring holes in games that we know are coming, and interesting to know that they're not part of the next 12 months. I was like, okay, at least they're coming somewhere in the background. But we'll go through some of those announcements, some of the other ones as well. We'll touch base on what Capcom showed off, on what Square showed off, and maybe even go into what some of the extra trailers that were released and the extended Xbox presentation. But we'll get to that a little later on the show. So let's go ahead and start, sir, with what we have been up to. Mr. Dream Twister.
That's me.
I am excited to know, what have you been up to?
Well, sir, as you know, I have been going through my backlog of games that I need to finish. Oh wait, no, that's you, because I don't do that. I just buy them and then just shelve them and never touch them again.
You're basically Tony Stark's. It's like, buy it, store it. I need it.
I need it. Are you planning on playing it? No. It's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna get the little ones out of the way because, first of all, I'm not gonna continue to talk about Ace Combat 7. You guys know that I dabbled into Ace Combat 7, and it's Top Gun season. Everybody is sad about jets, apparently. So whatever. I'm also not gonna talk about Final Fantasy 15 because I stopped playing it, unsurprisingly.
Because fuck that game.
I stopped at the exact same location when I stopped last time, and it's just that game has a problem of carrying you over. I feel like at some point the story picks up and it gets interesting, but until you get there, man, is it a trudge to continue. It's just I want to. Believe me, I want to. If when I go back, I'm not gonna start over like I did last time. I'm just gonna continue from here, and if I don't remember what happened previously, I'll catch it on YouTube. I intend to play the DLC also because yes, I want to see what the DLCs are about. I heard not terrible things about it, so I'm curious about that. And then that's it. And then for some ungodly reason, I fell back and I relapsed into the Division 2.
I saw this. I witnessed some of it, and I'm like, why are we here? I was, of course. Are you going to install it? No, I'm not going to install it. No, not happening. Just here to watch you guys be bored. Because once you left, they were like, why are we doing this?
Oh, once I left, they didn't know what. Oh,
yeah, they were just playing for a little bit, and then suddenly, they just
realized.
Honestly,
like,
we had a long conversation about several movies, and they're just shooting. I mean, they were just basically on autopilot, just shooting through the building.
Oh,
we're just. I was just like, yeah.
That's once you get to a certain point in Division, that's kind of what you do. You're not there for the story. I mean, what story? It's the Division 2. You're not there for anything other than just shoot and loot, right? But the problem is that we weren't even doing that, because to do that, like if we were actually looking for better gear and whatnot, and make better builds and whatever, like we will be doing more like specific stuff that we know that could land you that better gear faster than what we were actually doing. We were doing a mission that I've never done before, which was a zoo. I don't remember what the mission is. It's called. And it was neat. I mean, it was cool. It had a little bit of of a story. There was an interesting thing with the villain, but like it wasn't a run that you will do over and over to get gear.
Mm.
You
Oh,
know,
so just
because
once to experience it and that's it?
yeah, it's just once to experience it. Maybe you can solo it, and that's it. But not that's not the experience that you do to gain gear. Not that you can get gear. I'm saying that if you want to be efficient about the time you're spending playing, you will do like the summit, because on the summit, which is this skyscraper, 100 floor skyscraper that you have to go floor by floor and clear out, enemies, and it's kind of like a little bit randomized here and there. Um, there you can actually tell the game, I'm interested in this type of loot, and let's say, for example, I'm interested in vest, in bulletproof vest, because I want to get a legendary of it, or whatever is the one that you're interested in. Okay, well, I can actually tell the game that, and then all the loot that you end up getting is vest related, or the backpack related, or guns, or whatever is it that you're looking to find, until you hit the one that you actually want. Um, so that's a little bit more efficient, and they brought that later on, I believe it was like a couple of seasons ago. They brought that as a type of end game, because people were honestly, they have done everything else. There was not a lot of end game to do on that game, and that's why most people are bored with it. Unfortunately, for as much as I love that particular gas and that particular game as service, it I recognize that first of all, it is not the most interesting one for everyone. I just like the tactical aspect of it. I like to see my dude running from cover to cover and taking pot shots, and or just wailing at it right in front, because if I mean you could be OP or the enemy could be OP, whatever. Um, and there's not a lot of good one of those games. Usually the other one that you have is that is a shooter is Destiny, and that's a
Destiny.
third person.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a first person, and I like a lot. I tend to like more the third person games, the third person action games. So yeah, I also I remember having a lot of fun with these guys when we were doing the division. Uh, it was like that's where the little separate group that we have, that we chat
Mhm.
on Mad Dog. That's how it kind of started, the division training group, and
Yeah,
we
yeah, I
we
remember.
switched it to the Elden Ring one, and we're gonna keep it Elden Ring, because that's an homage to that wonderful game.
And
That
a wonderful time with it too.
I
Yeah.
had a wonderful time with it. That's the one that I felt like, oh, we were all there. We were
Mhm.
all playing. Because as much as we try to get you to play the division, man, you would not budge. And
I
also,
did play it with you guys once, and
yeah,
I
if we
kept
can
getting
call it
yelled
that,
at because I was shooting
you dip
dogs. I
your
mean, it was just
toes.
like
You dip your toes. You
yeah,
know?
yeah. One day, one day,
Yeah.
and only because it came on PlayStation Plus.
And only because it was PlayStation Plus. Exactly.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
downloaded it, you played, you leveled up to like level 10, and then you were like, all right, I have my feel. I have my feel, and this is this is not the type of games that I like to play. What can I say, man? I like progression games. A game that gives me a
Fair
good
enough.
progression, I just want to keep playing. So, but that's it. That's a Tuesday game. That's like, and the only reason I call it a Tuesday game is because I can only play with these guys on Tuesday, because that's when they have off. Uh, and then I didn't know what else to play. Even though you're right, I have a backlog of games that I should be going, into and finishing up. But I was like, I was bored. I was very bored. So I said, okay, maybe it's time. Maybe I should unwrap this. Oh wait, I never bought this game actually, but maybe I should
Maybe I
find
should buy it so that I can unwrap it.
exactly. maybe I'll unwrap it. I guess mentally because I bought the digital version. I didn't bother with physical. Um, I went ahead and installed Horizon
Forbidden West.
Forbidden West. Thank you, motherfucker. I can't remember. I always want to call it Horizon Journey to the West.
Journey to the West. Yeah.
Even when I'm playing, I'm thinking, well, I'm journeying to the West.
Oh my goodness.
So I wish I could tell you a lot about it. I'm honestly, I can't say much. Well, obviously no spoilers, but I can't talk a lot about it because I didn't play that much. I only put maybe like 2 or 3 hours because I decided late that I wanted to play it, and then it took a while for it to download. So I did do and can confirm that the trick of buying the PS4 version, paying $10 less, and getting the upgrade to the PS5 version still works.
Okay.
And not
Did
that I
you
had any.
assume the same upgrades came, right? Because they had the game itself had recent upgrades that updated the
Oh, you mean the
graphics,
patches?
the patches, the
Yeah,
recent
yeah, yeah,
patches.
yeah. Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah,
of
okay,
course,
okay,
of
okay.
course. It's gonna. I mean, it's the same game. When it says upgrade to the PS5 version, it's not it's not just taking the PS4 version and just like bolting in the PS5 special features. No, it is you're downloading the PS5 version of it, and suddenly you have the option to download both. You can either download the PS4 version, although why would you, PS5 version? But uh, I always thought it was a little silly to pay the extra $10 for the PS5 version and just have the one version. So
As do most sane people. But go ahead.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it works basically. It works, and no, I didn't. I wasn't gonna go like collectors or special digital deluxe or whatever. It's like I feel like lately I've been feeling like those things actually hamper the experience rather than improve it in any way.
Hmm.
In the sense that they could, I'm not saying they do all the time, but they could be giving you like an unneeded advantage because it or false sense of advantage, I might say, because sometimes the gear that you get in game is actually better than whatever you get on a pre-order bonus. Very rarely you get something that is very powerful as a pre-order bonus because that tends to break the fucking game,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
um and like I don't need to start with like the deal deluxe has like, oh, you could get extra materials. It's like, why? I can get the I can get the materials for the stuff that I need. I don't need any of this of these things. And the weapons are the weapons that the developers meant for me to have in this, while I'm playing this area. So it's almost like getting the regular edition is almost like the purest version of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
But anyway, what is Horizon Journey to the West? Forbidden West. It is literally more Horizon, but with like 1% jankiness, I would say, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. You're asking, or
I
are
don't
you asking
remember.
forgiveness to say this?
I
Because I don't know.
don't. Well, because I mean, obviously, Horizon Zero Dawn, it's been lauded. That game is fantastic, and it looks gorgeous
Mhm.
and it plays very well. But I'm trying to think like, or maybe is the fact that now we're playing PS5 games and the type of games that we have played, that we played. It's like it makes you notice the little things that
Let's stand
are
out.
a
Mm.
little, yeah, like there's, don't get me wrong, I don't want to send the wrong message. The game is not jank in any way whatsoever. I heard that when it was out originally, it had some bugs, and there was videos on YouTube, including from Digital Foundry, that show the bugs, and some of them were like, oh shit, like what happened? And Guerrilla, like, come on, this is your A game, like in more ways than one. um how do you release it in this state? Maybe you were trying to fight to release it sooner than the Elden Ring, but look what happened. But
Mm.
anyway, I'm not talking about that, because the game runs great in performance. I'm playing on performance mode. No, yes, performance mode, because the other one's resolution, and no, I'm not gonna do 30 frames if I can avoid it. Um, it runs great, and it looks gorgeous. It definitely looks fantastic. Um, it's just a little few things in some movement that, or sometimes how I feel like I might get a little stuck on
An edge or
geometry.
something. Mm.
Not for long though. Um,
It figures itself out.
it
It
figures it
figures
out.
itself out. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Also, the game gives you the option of play the exploration mode or play in guided mode.
Mm.
And of course, it defaults to exploration. And I'm trying to think if the first one did that also. Did it? Do you know?
I think it got patched in later to have sort of a almost like story mode type of
Well, this
thing.
one has a story mode, which is basically
But what is
baby mode.
guided mode then?
No, no, guided mode. No, no, I'm sorry. So he has the difficulty settings, but I'm not talking about those. Once you pick up, the difficulty setting, um, it asks you like guided mode or normal mode, and the difference between them, I believe, has to do with like showing you exactly where
Where to
you need
go?
to go versus
Okay.
just showing you, hey, you need to be heading this way. Like one of them tells you, hey, you need to be heading this way. The other one might literally tell you, like, hey, you need to grab this ledge.
Mm.
I don't know if it's that strict or not, because I haven't tried it, and I don't know if it's something you can toggle. But I did find myself going into areas when I'm like, okay, where the fuck am I supposed to go next? I know it wants me to head this way, but there is a wall, like there's no way for me to, and then I have to like run around till finally over here. So I'm not sure if I might recommend maybe people go play, especially if you're just interested on just playing it for the sake of beating it and moving on. Uh, Maybe turn on guided mode. I'm gonna stay with this.
So you're on guided mode?
No, no, no.
Oh, okay.
I'm in exploration mode. For now, because I have no fucking hurry. There's nothing. There's no games waiting for me at the end of this one. So, but if you're pressing for time, or you just want to like finish it, then you might want to turn guided mode, because there are parts in the games where it's not clear. It's not 100% clear where exactly you need to go.
Hmm.
Um, and it gets a little confusing. Like I said, you're always gonna get the general direction of where you need to. Like you're always gonna see the waypoint, 100 meters, or 200 meters, or 300, whatever. But how to get to it might require you that you climb, or that you
So it's a lot more verticality
what's
essentially.
this thing? Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. But we knew this
Hmm.
game had
Well,
this game
no,
had.
the original didn't have a lot of verticality. Um, I mean, mountainous ranges, sure, but
Yeah,
like walls and actually, because I remember
no,
that was one
true.
of the things I've noticed when we saw the gameplay reveal and stuff like that, where she was in the ruins, and the ruins she was going up stuff. I was like, ooh, we didn't do that. I mean, there were
Right,
ruins
right,
there,
right,
but that you really climbed them.
right. No, no,
Uh,
no. On this one, like on the first one, the verticality was more the fact. Oh well, there's a set of stairs which are gonna land me in another plane where I'm gonna be walking, and then another set of stairs maybe. And but there was not. But you're right. There's not a lot of like there was not a lot of climbing. Like in this one, you have the climbing, and you have also the grapple.
mm,
You have a grapple thing that you use. It's not as fun as I thought it was gonna be. It's serviceable. It works, but it's not. You're not Spider. You're not Spider Gwen.
Okay.
Spider Aloy. You're not that. You're not gonna be swinging from chandeliers. But obviously, that the game, that the story takes off exactly, where Zero Dawn left, and you are there is this which I remember this element from the first game. There is this, like, it's like a plague, almost like something that's going on that is turning, like, I remember turning the nature kind of like reddish,
Yeah. Some sort
and
of
like
plague. Yeah.
a rod or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously it's killing crops and killing animals, and if left unchecked, it's gonna kill humanity. So Aloy needs to find a duplicate of Gaia, the AI system from the first game. And that's as much as I played. I didn't put a lot of it, but overall, I didn't expect it to be any different. Obviously, I knew that this game was gonna look very, very beautiful, and my experience was gonna be solid with it. Um, I can't speak to length yet because obviously I haven't put the time. I do remember that even the first one, being the great game that it was, I got to a point where I started feeling a little like tired with it, and the progression of it, like it never felt very organic to where I care much about it. Yeah, I have the set of weapons that I wanted to use, and I didn't care for anything else, and the skills were like, okay, whatever. But hopefully they've addressed that. Although everything looks fucking the same.
I was gonna say I don't think they. I mean, they didn't address it in the sense that, not that it was a problem. It was just, it was a choice, and it looks like they just kept the same choice. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it's fine because maybe that's the type of game that I need. That I need right now. And I feel like this is the time. If I'm gonna play this game, it's gonna have to be this year or else.
So fuck Last of Us 2. I'm gonna go with this one.
Oh shit, that's right. I own Last of Us 2.
I know.
I'm gonna wait for the PC version now.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's like 2 years from now.
Yeah, exactly. I'll at this point, what do I have to lose? Oh, fuck you. I'll wait for the remake. Well, at the very least,
at this point, you're not going to get that big of a difference. That's what I'm like. Okay, if you want to wait for that one, but okay.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking maybe not a PC version, but that a PS5 version is coming, and an updated version of on PS5 is happening. Right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure of it. Yeah, we're getting The Last of Us, the first one, again, completely remade. Apparently, though it looks the same, but whatever.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of, I don't know. I'm a little worried with this guy at the helm. Me too. I'm not gonna lie. This Sony, smells a lot like Microsoft.
Yeah, not liking it myself either.
Going a little bit too much on the
$70 for a ground up remake, and you look at it and you just go, but it's the same. And then of course you have to do the side by side models just to go, oh, I see. So you've made them more older and concerned. They'll have concerned looks.
Necessarily better. They just look different enough that you can say, oh yeah, I can see the difference.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, but the side by side of Joel, I was like, so Joel looked upset over here, and this one he looks like he's just super worried and crying. Okay. Good job, guys. Good job.
Maybe that's the intended emotion that the developers wanted to convey with Joel at that particular moment
Sir,
in time.
this is starting to sound more and more like, the George Lucas effect. I'm just saying, we don't need that. We do not need that.
Oh God,
I
I
don't
think you
need my
nailed it, bro.
clickers with eyelids.
I
Nope, we
think
don't need that.
clickers with eyelids.
I'm just saying,
Clickers with lips.
Dear Lord. Oh my God, that's disturbing. Apologies, sir. I didn't mean to sidetrack us there. Just
No, that's that. I mean, if you guys expected to be expected me to give a review of it, I can't because
no.
it's
This is
early.
just
But
a
we
early
all
preview.
know, we all know the value of this game, and like the listener, if you want to play this game or not. You probably played it already.
Oh
So
yeah, or
I'm
it's on
late to the
your
party,
log to
dipping my
do.
toes right now, and
Mhm.
the only reason I don't say, I can't wait to finish podcast so I can go back to it is because I actually have to wake up early tomorrow. So
Yeah,
yes,
me
my
too.
ass is going to bed after this.
Oh, look at that. Okay,
And that's all I done
that's all
for
you've done. Okay.
games.
Oh.
I did watch a movie. I watched one
Oh
thing.
shit, Lost City, here it comes.
One thing.
Mhm.
I watched Top Gun,
The
the first
original?
one,
Oh,
not Maverick.
I was gonna say it
I
was
mean,
like,
that happened yet.
okay, okay. Wait, so this is to clarify.
Uh-huh.
Would this be your first viewing of said Top Gun?
No,
Okay. Just
but
many
it
a year. Okay.
certainly served the purpose of reminding me what this movie was about because I've only seen it once, and I knew very little English, a lot less than now, believe it or not. When I saw it the first time, which must have been obviously maybe a year or two after it was released. I rented it from probably Blockbuster. It was
Wow. Okay.
probably
Okay.
Blockbuster, if I had to guess. But I kind of knew. I mean, I knew that the scenes. I knew the things. I knew the general. Like, the only thing I didn't remember was that this is not a movie about enemy combatants or anything or political. Like this is not a war movie or anything like that. This is more of a police academy, but with Top Gun. No, that's not exactly what I mean. I mean the Academy of jet fighter jet pilots.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's the. I mean, he's so this is one of his earlier ones, but he's
Mhm.
done so many movies like this back in the day. Days of Thunder, where because he always has a father, and the father was this
Mhm.
big important guy in his field, you know what I mean?
Right.
And here, he had the father that everybody talks about. Oh, that's Pete Maverick. That's such and such's son, and all this. And you're like, oh, okay. you know, and the same thing happened in A Few Good Men. The same thing happened in Days of Thunder. It's just like there's always a dad. You're like, God, dude, do you have father issues? What is going on here? It's I don't know what it was.
Yeah. Let me tell you that obviously it's a movie of its time, absolutely 100%,
Absolutely. Yeah.
to the point where my wife hadn't seen it.
Oh,
And yeah, she never seen Top Gun, so she was watching it with me for this first time because we're both interested in going to watch Maverick. Yeah, because we heard good things. We heard actually very good
I've heard
things. I was like,
nothing but good things. Yeah, I haven't heard
exactly.
any
So
bad
it's
things.
like, okay, I went from not caring at all to I need to put this on my list because whatever reason. So we want to set ourselves and I needed to remember, okay, what the fuck was it that happened? Because I remember what happened to Goose, and I remember playing with the boys. That's as much as I remember of the movie.
Playing with the
Maybe
boy.
take my breath away, but I couldn't pinpoint it exactly. uh, but then there was this line, which is obviously I forgot her name, but basically the love interest. It's up there.
Oh yes, Kelly something. Go ahead, sir.
Sure.
I'll find her right now.
Her, yeah.
Kelly
Where
Kelly McGillis. Yeah,
there
that's the
you
one.
go.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. You've probably seen it at least a couple of times,
Oh,
evidently.
dude, I've seen this easily, easily
and
50. Not even an exaggeration. Probably 50 times. Not even an exaggeration.
and from what I remember, it's they get in, like, they're in the class, in the classroom. I'm gonna call it the briefing or whatever.
Hmm.
And I think she's questioning, about his maneuver or whatever. And for some reason, that gets him upset. He gets in the motorcycle. He's like, "I can't hear you," and he
Yeah,
just leaves. He just bolts.
yeah,
And then she
yeah.
goes behind him, speeding to traffic, putting like the entire state in danger. By the way, this
Basically,
maniac lady is driving. It's like, what the are you following a freaking, like, did he rob a bank or something? It's like a car chase scene all of a sudden.
yeah,
No, he follows him. They have that conversation. It's like, I couldn't tell you how I feel because I didn't want anybody. And I'm paraphrasing. I don't know
yeah,
the,
yeah, yeah. I know, I know.
I didn't want anybody to know that I have fallen for you. And I could literally hear my wife's stomach turning at that point.
Oh yeah.
She was like,
Welcome,
"Oh."
welcome to 80s movies.
That's what I tell her. It's an 80s movie. Of course it's gonna be. But she's like, they killed it with that line. It's like freaking they freaking murdered it with that line. It's such a terrible that she has to throw herself to him and tell him that like that. And it is, I mean, it was, dude, I thought she got offended. It was such, but it was an 80s movie. That's what I told her. He said it's an 80s movie. And I didn't like it either. I thought it was very extremely cheesy, but I knew the source material, what it was gonna end up being. Um, but it was funny. Her reaction was funny at the.
Oh, I can only imagine. For somebody who's, I mean, we're going back to 1986 for the record, guys.
Yes,
1986. Okay, more or less where the current timeline of Stranger Things is supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So yeah, it is. Yes, it is. There are many movies. Many. Oh my god. I just mentioned A Few Good Men. There is a line in that one. I don't know if you've ever seen that one. If you have not, you need to add that to your damn
I
list.
I want to say it's one other one of those that I have, but I don't rewatch a lot of movies, so probably.
Okay. Well, anyway, there's a line in that one again. This time it's delivered by Tom Cruise to Demi Moore, and it's just like, oh my god, would that not fly today at all?
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I don't know
at
what this line
all.
is.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now,
Oh
to be
no!
fair, well, we're not going to get into that. But anyway, go ahead. Sir.
It was a different time. Yes,
Yeah.
things were not as of pity like they are now nowadays. So, but yeah, I was I'm obviously happy to to reacquaint myself with
With Top
with the
Gun.
movie, to get back, like learn back all the old, the old music. Like, I completely have forgotten that believe it or not, that Talk to Me Goose was from that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Remember every time you would say "Talk to Me Goose,"
I
I've
know.
forgotten it. I was from Top Gun. Of course, that's Goose. And poor
Oh
Goose.
my god.
Yes,
Hell
Goose.
yeah.
Oh man,
You're gonna make me watch this shit again. You believe this shit?
it's a
I can
great.
tell you that right now.
It's a good movie, and I mean, it was great for its time. And now I say good, but in the sense that, like, it needs it. holds up. It holds up
It's
well.
still, yeah. It doesn't say, it doesn't overstay its welcome.
No,
Yes, there's
not at
those
all.
cringy moments, but you realize again, if you really realize, okay, this was a product of its time. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And yes, and hey, like it or not, there are women like that still. So there still exists for the record. Okay.
Yes.
But anyway, that's just, it's just a weird time. Whatever. But a lot of the dog fighting and everything in the air. I mean, those were always really, really good scenes
Yeah, they
to
were
me.
very, very,
Um,
very nice, and I mean, I thought they were great for its time, also.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's
Which
like,
is the reason I'm excited to watch Maverick now, because I want to contrast all those things. I want to contrast, obviously, in the writing, in the subject theme, in the dog fighting scenes, are they gonna make this movie about more than just, I'm the professor of the class, and I want to see what playing with the boys feels like in 2021, 2022.
I saw that we've seen the trailer already. So
Yeah,
there's
we've
a
seen the
scene that you
trailer.
go,
There
oh,
is a
so we're
scene.
still doing that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, of
We're
course.
still going out there
Yes.
playing with. Of course, it's not just boys this time, but we're still doing this.
Oh,
Okay.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. That was this
Good
time.
stuff.
That's
Good stuff.
it.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, I enjoyed it. I say this movie is a solid three.
A
Three
solid
for me.
3. All right.
Three.
Good movie. Good stuff.
And
All
that's
right,
all.
sir. Good stuff. I don't know where to begin. I guess I should probably just get the movies out of the way. I'm gonna get the movies out of the way.
Yeah, we're in the movie part.
We're in
Just
the movie part. I'm gonna get the
yeah.
movies and stuff out of the way. Yeah. So I finished watching Love, Death, and Robots, which is this third season of the show, and this is really, really good stuff. I love the different versions of animation. There's one that's probably extremely vulgar and unnecessary, but at the same time, you go, okay, well, they're leaning into it, so why not? Let's just accept it for what it is. And the last one, which is they call it Gibbero, but when you look at the spelling, it goes, that's Hibaro. You know what I
Oh
mean? But
yeah.
yeah, but I'm like, whatever. We'll leave it at that. And so, oh my god, the animation in this freaking short, bro. It is
Yeah.
scary how amazing it looks. It's just
Really.
scary. Yeah, it's uncanny. There's parts of you go, okay, that's definitely animation. It's probably when you get close enough to a certain portion, you go, oh, that's animation. But there are other moments where I cannot tell. I'm not even sure if this is a fucking snippet of real world,
This is
Um,
mocap at this point. This
yeah,
is not
it's
animation.
definitely mocap. That much I do know. They are using mocap, but it's
Oh, they are using.
oh
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I
yeah,
thought it was.
absolutely.
I always thought that these things were hand animated. So
This particular one is it's all digital effects on top of the thing. But yeah, I saw a little bit of the making, and yeah, there's either mocap or
that's how they nailed the animation, because I
the
mean,
well, yeah. I
it's
mean,
really real.
it's either It's. I'm trying to think now because I saw the actors moving, but I didn't see anybody in a mocap suit. So I don't know if he was just using them for. I just assumed it was mocap, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It's such
It could be mocap, but touched, in the areas where
yeah, it could
no
be.
human will move like this. So therefore, they have to create it.
But let me tell you, bro, that one right there, I've watched it a few times already because it's just like
Oh,
this so fascinating to me and so crazy. It's about it's an interesting story where it looks. I mean, again, there's no talking, so you kind of go by what's happening. These soldiers who come to a forest to meet up with these monks. It looks like they're about to make a deal or something like that. One of the soldiers goes off to the water and he goes to grab something in water, realizes it's a piece of gold, puts it in his teeth. Oh shit, this is gold. He didn't say that. You just can tell his face. And the moment he touches the water, it triggers what apparently must be some sort of siren in the water that comes out like screaming, and the screams like blast like the waves at the guys, and they start going crazy and running towards the water. Dude, it's insane, bro. It's absolutely insane. Now, and I'll leave this
You
here.
said siren. I thought it was like an alarm.
No, a siren.
And
like
now,
yeah.
and,
It's a
and
woman. A woman. Yeah.
a woman, exactly.
yeah, she's a woman.
Part
And
woman, part fish? No, those are
No,
mermaids.
well, that's the thing. The design that he went with here, her body's completely covered in gold, like gold
Uh,
chains and all this stuff, and she's like dancing, but at the same time, like screaming, but really, really, really loud. And the the crazy thing is the soldier that came to the water, touch it, whatever, he's deaf, so he sees
oh,
everybody going crazy, and he doesn't know what's going on because he can't hear her. And then
oh,
that leads to a further part in the story. I'll leave it at that because it's actually pretty cool.
yeah. No, now you're into the spoiler territory.
Yeah, it is. It's anyway. I really enjoy this series. I wasn't a big fan of the last one. You know what I realize in retrospect. I realize is Love, Death, and Robots kind of let me to believe. A lot of the season one had a lot to do with sci-fi, so I just assumed that was always a theme. It's not. It's not a theme. It is either love, death, or robots. Love and robots, death and love. You know what I mean? It's a combination of all that stuff, and it's just
It's gonna be those three things.
yeah. It's a lot of fun, and some really really good animation. So if you like animation of all kinds and just wacky stories, because some of these can just be out there, it's just good stuff.
But
It's
wacky
just
in the sense of like, do they get like silly? Because
some
I
of them do
remember
get
like,
silly.
huh?
Some of them do get silly. The one with the three robots who are actually that one's actually pretty funny. There's these three robots who like take vacations to the land where humans used to live, but they're all dead now because it's post-apocalyptic. So they're just exploring it, going, "Oh, this is where billionaires used to live." And then you see whatever, and it's like it's just, and then of course they're making jokes of what's going on and stuff like that. But it's pretty funny.
That sounds cool though.
Then there's this little one. This was only like a 5-6 minute one, but basically it's almost like the Night of the Living Dead told in miniatures. It's still animated, but it's so fucking cool because everything looks really small. But as you know, you got to see it to understand what I'm talking about. It's called Mini Nightmare of the Dead, or Night of the Dead, Living Dead, or some shit like that. And so it's just really inventive, and I like that stuff. But and some of them can just be a little bit like Hibaro. I'm going to be honest, that one's can be a little abstract. It's like because it's not telling you what's going on, and you just have to put it together based on what you're seeing. You know what I mean? And there can be many interpretations on that too, by the way. So anyway, don't want to hang too much on that. I did see a few movies, so I'll go through these kind of quickly. The first one I saw is a crazy movie on Netflix called The Bad Batch. Sir, this is not for you, so I'm going to just set that up in front. This is not for you.
Thank you. I'm shutting my brain down.
But there are some interesting folk in this particular movie. Jason Momoa is in this. Keanu Reeves is in this.
What?
And Jim Carrey is in this.
What?
Yes.
How is this not for me? Or the question I think it should be, how did they fuck this up?
Yeah, there you go. That sounds more like it for you.
Okay.
So this takes place in some odd future where there's a part of Texas that is now completely gated off, and every person who gets deemed guilty of something, whatever, they get tattooed BB and a certain number, BB standing for the Bad Batch, and they get put into this area. The area is mostly desert, and that's it. There's no rule. You can do whatever you want in there. They don't care. You're no longer, as you walk at the very beginning, the main character is walking by a sign that says you're leaving U.S. territory, even though it's still Texas, because that entire area, you're no longer a citizen.
I was going to more ask if this was basically, so they're moving to Florida, like right now.
Yeah,
and the only thing is that we don't tattoo anybody because we're all backpackers.
Yeah. The difference here is there is cannibalism, which you
Florida, you haven't heard of Florida Man then.
Florida Man. It's funny because I guess I didn't think, like, maybe I had mentioned it, but it's just one of those things that when you see it happen, you go, oh, okay, I didn't think that was going to happen. You know what I mean? And your main character, who's essentially a pretty little blonde girl who got I guess guilty for something. Obviously got guilty for something. That's why she's out there. And they capture her. They put a needle in her arm and then start sawing her arm off. It was like, oh shit.
Her arm?
Yeah, her arm. Yeah. And I was like,
as in
sawing it. Like no,
because
sawing her arm.
cut. Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
oh, wow.
yeah,
Oh, it
yeah.
just goes like that, huh?
Yeah, yes, out of the blue, and it's like, okay. Now, to be fair, it's not showing the sawing, whatever, but it does
Oh,
show when
but yeah,
when they remove the arm. You're like, okay, okay, we got it, yeah.
yeah.
And the funny thing
Is
is,
there
it's
is
just
there a
so
lore
crazy.
reason for that, or it's just let's shop for
Food.
the sake of?
They're not giving
Oh,
food. Yeah,
food,
they're not
right?
giving food out there. It's like you're out there, you survive with whatever you can, and
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
certain sector of folk who said, okay, we will. This is how we're gonna do it.
Holy
And
shit!
so what's funny is this is like I didn't know this from anything that I watched because it was purposely angled in certain ways when I saw the trailer.
Uh,
That's the beginning of the movie, bro. We're at 10 minutes in, and she is missing a part of her arm and a part of her leg,
oh
and
shit!
continues the movie this way. So
Oh shit!
it is
She's not a
insane.
throwaway character. She is a protagonist.
He is the protagonist, yes. Jason Momoa is in there. He's actually, they call him Miami Man because that's what's tattooed on his chest. He's part of what they call the bridge people, who are the cannibals. And then you have Comfort, which is a town built up in there. Now, this town, you would think of the setup I mentioned, how would this even work? But it's an actual, because it's a town that was, I guess, abandoned so that they can make that part of whatever penitentiary area they're trying to do, has been taken over by a bunch of people. And that, who runs that, is Keanu Reeves, he throws like parties at night and got parties going on with club light and all that stuff. And Comfort is a town that's completely protected within there. Like they have guns and stuff like that. Sir, odd is just not enough to explain how, this movie.
Odd
And
is not odd enough. Is this a new movie? Is this old? Is this
this is
like?
2016.
How
2016.
did I never heard of this thing?
Because this movie would never be on your radar, bro. This wouldn't even be in the same vicinity that your radar would pick up a
But yeah, I
blip.
mean, you're mentioning Keanu Reeves put together with Jason Momoa and with fucking Jim Carrey. It's like,
Oh my God, Jim Carrey. Good luck if you do watch it, which I know you won't. But if you ever watch it, good luck if you can even find who Jim Carrey is. It took me a while to even recognize that was who that was, and I was like, wait a minute.
wait a minute.
Yeah, I recognize that face, and he doesn't talk, so he's completely mute in the entire film.
Oh, fucking course, because
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what you want to do. When you get a talent like this, that's what you want to do. Shut him the fuck up.
Oh my God, dude,
Oh
it
my God,
is.
this movie, it's so wrong in so many ways.
It is
Like,
so
I don't know.
strange, dude. It is so strange. Giovanni Ribisi, you would know him by face, but you probably don't know him by name. But
No.
he's in it twice, and he's a good actor. He's just in it twice, and he's just plays this random like bum. You know what I mean? That speaks to himself. And I think he has probably a total of 4 minutes screen time. I don't even know why he's there. It's like,
What the
dude, the
Is this
oddest
straight
thing
to
I've seen.
video? Was this? I mean, this was never
No, this was an
advertised.
indie. This is an indie joint. This is no. You would have
Oh,
got
this is
this
an indie
at the
joint.
Enzian, or
Say
you
no
would have got
more.
this at
That explains
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Now you brought me. Now finally,
I don't know how you
feet are
didn't
cemented.
figure that out by now. Come
No,
on,
I was thinking with these names. I don't put those names together with indie movies.
sir. This
Just
is a
like you
straight
wouldn't put
Annapurna joint,
EA
sir.
with indie games, but yet they happen.
A straight Annapurna joint. That's what this is, sir.
But of course it is.
Yeah.
Hey, Annapurna, they might as well be warning signs to me. I get it. No problem.
Straight Annapurna. And I enjoy for what it was. I no desire to watch it again, but it was an interesting tale. And I was like, okay,
Was it
this
a tale though, or were the visuals? Was there a story
visually was
there
pretty.
that?
Yeah, no, there is a story. I mean, the story is she gets put into this whatever, and she has to survive, and the things that she does to survive,
Okay.
and who she meets, and along the way, and that's really it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the tale
Very so.
that's in there. Yeah. But yes, visually it is actually a very cool looking movie. A little psychedelic in some moments, but it is what it is. I don't think it's one of those things where critically it's like super acclaimed and all that stuff. I don't think it's all that that, what I would say, it's an interesting tale, and I'll just leave it at that. And I'm glad I watched it. No desire to watch it again. So essentially, but anyway, the next one that I saw was King Richard. And we saw this actually on HBO Max. This is the story of Venus and Serena Williams' father, played by Will Smith. And basically how is based obviously on a true story, and how he was so adamant in making sure his daughters were the best at what they did, school, whatever, but also in tennis, and all the struggles and stuff that he went through to get them to that point. Because they started off in Compton, so they were in Los Angeles or whatever. Compton, where's Compton? I'm not sure wherever that is, and I think it's a part of the LA area. But anyway, it's a good talk. It's a good story. Really touching. It shows off, when Venus first starts her run into tennis. But again, it's really more about the father, Richard Williams, and what he went through, and all the craziness that he was thought to be a not a good father, and stuff like that. All these little things, and all he was doing, he was doing his best for his daughters. And he did, man. He did. I mean, if you look at, first off, you just look at Serena and Venus Williams, how amazing they are in tennis. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're talking about two of the top that I think are still the top, period. No one's coming back behind them like that. And then on top of that, everything else, because, they know several languages. They're extremely educated. And he's like, Adam is like, they're not going to be on the streets. This is the plan. That's what he keeps mentioning the entire movie. I have a plan. I'm going to be honest. After the events that happened at the Oscars, I was not looking forward to seeing this movie, because I am still like completely disappointed with, the action that whatever happened with the fucking slap and all that. Yeah. But credit be where credit due, and this was a good movie. This definitely. Oh, by the way, Bad Batch, I'll give that a 3. This one out here, I give this one a 3.5. This was actually pretty good.
All right, that's all right. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but that sounds right.
Last one I saw is a movie.
As a person that haven't seen either one, I'm gonna rate this last one a 3, and Bad Batch that gets 1.0.
Yeah, you definitely 1.0 that bad boy.
For completely mishandling the talent that is being carried.
You think that's bad? The movie, I think, estimated cost about between 6 to 8 million total. It barely made over $1 million. So you know.
Of course, I mean,
yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So anyway, last one I saw here is a movie called that I've had on my list. Fun fact here, I started making my list for my watch list for movies.
You always have a list. You have a list about all the lists that you have.
But this particular main list I started back in 2012. And this was probably number 4 on the list at the time. And now it's number 200 and something, because it's all the way at because the list pops out in the most recent ones, right? So it's all the way in the back. So this is me doing the same thing I'm doing with my backlog in gaming, doing the backlog in movies. Just like, I need to get these things out of here. And so
you're die happy.
And then I can die happy. Exactly. See, you get it. Anyway, it's a movie called Compliance. And this is a true tale. And I mean this seriously. This is a real thing that happened. This person calls into a fast food restaurant claiming to be an officer, and tells the manager that they need to detain the front cashier girl, and bring her to the back, and she's, we got some reports that she stole money and blah, 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 blah. And for whatever freaking reason, they all believe this is a cop on the other line. And this goes on for hours. And many things happen. Because cops going, I need you to be strong. We need to strip search her. And then he's like, wait, are you sure? I was like, I'm telling you, this is the thing, whatever,
What a
you know.
funny selection of movies, bro.
Sir,
It's
you have to move
literally
a little bit into the mic, sir. I feel like you're fading away.
you're you will become the Joker as depressed as the Joker pretty soon if you continue going down this road. Completely lose faith in humanity, and
I mean, you know, I may be there already. So, but anyway, no. This is the crazy part again is how this is a true story. And as you get through the film, again, there's nothing revealed or anything like that. There's not lines that it cross, other than the fact that when they do strip her, she is naked there for a moment, you know. Other than that, it's just, but in my head, I was like, oh my God, can you imagine any place allowing this to happen? Just going because the cops said we have to do this.
You obviously haven't seen Pain and Gain yet, so I am not even going to.
Which is also based on a true story. So,
which is also based on a true story.
Yeah,
exactly. So when you see it, it's also gonna have moments like, nah, bro, like fucking nah, bro.
I can imagine.
And there might be fucking no bros, but you still ask yourself like, nah, bro.
Yeah, I can imagine. It is an insane movie. Again, true story. And when the cops come, I swear to God, when the real cops come, they're just like, so at any, because he even asked the girl, it's like, at any point did you just say no? I mean, you know, it's like, why did you just whatever? So it turns out that this person has been the person, he eventually got caught and all that stuff. But although he wasn't charged because they could not finally line up everything that say that he did that. But everybody else involved, they got arrested. It's like, you just fucking detained someone and stripped her down. You're just like, yeah, your ass is going to jail. But
this is a whole movie.
This is a movie. It's an hour and a half. It's an hour and a half movie.
This is an hour and a half of just this.
Well, no, it has the setup, you know, because you got to see how the little things that are going on with the little politics that were going on within the fast food joint, which only takes maybe about 20 minutes. Just kind of understand who people are and who trusts who are friends and stuff like that. And then the call happens, and then the call, whatever. And then of course now you're intrigued. You're like, you know, intrigued in the sense that how can they possibly at one point just say, dude, we're not gonna, this can't be right. And then probably the last 20 minutes the jig is up, you know what I mean? So at this point, you know, she's been freed, and it's spoilers here for everyone on this film, but I feel like no one's gonna watch it anyway. But yeah, so it's only about, maybe I would say about an hour or some change, maybe 45 minutes where, and things, you know, people are going in and out. It's not just sitting in the room watching this happen the whole time. There are things happening on it. But anyway, it's just insane that this person was able to do something like this in 78 different locations across America.
Wow.
And the first thing I had to tell myself is like, oh my God, we are surrounded by dumb people, bro. So surrounded by dumb people.
That has never been in question. There are so many dumb people.
Oh my goodness, bro. Anyway, so those are the movies I have watched. I do want to get into a particular game that I've been
out of the way, because Jesus Christ.
I know. To end on those notes,
it
would be kind of sad. Yeah, that would be kind of sad. Real quick, before I get into the games I've been playing, I did something probably not very smart, but I'm going to say it anyway.
You mean aside from the movies?
Whatever, bro. Whatever. Uncultured swine. No, I'm just kidding. I love you. I'm just kidding. I purchased the PlayStation Plus Premium package.
They got you, bro. They got you.
Did
no shame, bro. Did they ever, bro? I honestly would have been surprised if you didn't, because it does have its value, right?
I guess this is where we get to. Yeah. So first off, I only had it now for a few days, but it's funny because I have the PlayStation app, and the PlayStation app sends notifications here and there. It goes, "Hey, check out whatever." So I looked at it, and I'm like, "All right, let me see what they have. Let's
Nah.
take a look and see what's in there." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I could do that. All right." You looking at the entire thing, he goes, "Man, this list keeps going on and on and on and on." And then of course it shows you the price, and because I'm already, I've already paid for the year for whatever, it's a prorated amount till
Oh.
I renew. And I'm like, oh, well, that's convenient of you, Sony. Thank you. God, here I am thinking you're nickel and diming folk. You know what I mean? So yeah, so they got me. They basically got me.
Uh,
So I've gone through the list, and honestly, there is probably a good, and so it's a big list for the record, but it's a
right.
probably good between 10 and 15 games where I'm like, oh shit, I can actually play that. You know what I mean? It's like it's there.
So
But
for those for those uncultured like us, tell us what's included in the premium package, if you
so in the
will.
premium package you get, so right now you have the essentials. The essentials is the base
How do
package,
you know that? No, go ahead.
which is what you currently have. If you have this, whatever was PlayStation Plus before, that has
PlayStation
converted over
Plus.
to essential, and essential is what it is. You get your free games every so often, and you get play online
No
and
change.
occasional discounts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
With PlayStation, the next step up is PlayStation Extra. And Extra includes, let's see, PlayStation Extra includes a mix of modern, so games, so a bunch of PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games, and a bunch. I mean, I can't count them here, but there's a lot. Things like let me try some big ones here that you can probably see. Alienation, which you and I played.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Nice.
Batman Arkham Knight, Blasphemous, Bloodborne, Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. I'm going obviously alphabetical order here. Try to skip to some of the other ones. Darksiders, if you went to Darksiders, a couple of Dead or Alives, Doom, Final Fantasy 9, 7, 8, X, X2, 12, 15.
So far, everything I'm hearing is like, oh, okay, yep, they have the game, they have their own Game Pass. Don't worry, they have their own Game Pass.
Oh yeah. I wasn't. I looked. That's what I'm saying. I looked at it to really see. I was like, okay, this is a massive list. But the funny thing is, I started going through the list, going, there's a lot of here that I actually have in my backlog that I paid for, like a while back. That like, had I got this at that time, it'll be all in here. I'm like, oh,
It would be.
yeah, I would have saved all that and just whatever. But it's fine. It is what I'm not definitely not como se dice, regretting anything like that. But so that's what comes with that. And then on top of that, let me see. Then you have the plus. Okay, so the plus includes everything I just mentioned, plus game trials, premium game trials, and these things include games like Horizon Forbidden West, which a game trial, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, WWE 2K22. So you can actually play these for a limited time with no obligation to buy. All right, so those are just game trials. And then
like 5 hours. I was actually, I think at one point I was excited. I was like, oh, maybe I can play 5 hours of Horizon, and then I realized like, oh no, this is just for the elite.
And then finally, the package includes the PlayStation Plus classic games, and these games go way back. Ape Escape, 2, a bunch of the Atari flashbacks, and a bunch of Batman games, Return to Arkham. You got all the BioShocks. You've got, I don't know why that's considered classic, but a bunch of Castlevanias, all the Dark Clouds. Let me see, a couple like 3 or 4 Disgaea games, a bunch of shitload of Disney games, every Dynasty Warrior game, all the God of Wars up into Ascension. Let me see, all the Hot Shot Golfs, Jack 1, 2, 3. So this is a massive list. I'm not going to sit here and go, but all the Resident Evils up until 6, and it includes Revelations, Code Veronica. So it's a massive list. And I was like, okay, all right. And there's a lot of things in there that it's one of those. not too interested in revisiting stuff I've done already, but there's just some of those gaps. You know what I mean? And part of me feels that eventually Metal Gear Solid 4 will make its way here. You know what I mean? So in the meantime, I've got a lot of little tiny things that I saw. And Puppeteer, bro. Puppeteer alone had me, bro. It had me a Puppeteer. I own that game, and it's such a fucking charming game, and it never made the jump to anything, and now it's here. So that's I wanted to start with that because I feel like I got duped somehow, but what it is. Anyway,
the advantage of it. Also,
I got it till next week. So
like I constantly find myself perusing on the Xbox app on PC and realizing like, holy shit, this is on Game Pass. Like I could be playing this on Game Pass. I was thinking I almost bought this.
Yeah, and, I know. That's the thing I'm gonna have to do from now on. Whenever because I realized I ended up with movies. I ended up doing that because there's no app that I can check, but there's a website that I would go to and go, like if I'm interested in seeing a specific movie and I see it's on Prime, but only as rental, I go to this app, put it and say, where can it be streamed for free? And it'll find whatever streaming service it's currently streaming on for free. If it's not there, okay, I'll rent it. If it's there, all right, I'm gonna go to the service because I have gotten duped several times that I rent the damn thing and then there it is. It's on fucking Hulu. Oh, there it is. It's on fucking HBO Max. I'm like, God damn it. But I just looked, right. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Dude, I just now had the experience. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is on Game Pass.
Yeah.
And it has the install button. Like I can press the install button right now and play that.
Yes, it does have it on there.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Isn't that
I could have told you that. Yeah.
Oh shit. So they have anything that pops up that you feel like, you need to play.
Yeah, exactly. At that point, it's like, okay, what's on here? I'll give it a shot. Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid. Oh man, that would
whenever that pause, I went right to. I literally went right to the M's. Where is it at? It needs to be here. It needs to be here. It's not because it's Konami and Konami is a bunch of fucking whatever. But I feel that eventually we're going to get around to that.
Yeah, eventually it'll be there, and it'll have trophies because when I played it did not have trophies.
Yeah, that was before trophies.
You have the trophies that I don't.
Yeah. So that the other two games, I'll save the main one for the end. I re-downloaded and started playing a little bit more of Raji: The Ancient Empire. This is an indie game. It actually came out through Xbox ID program or ID at Xbox. ID at Xbox. So it was released but it's available everywhere. Playing this on PlayStation, obviously, and it is a fascinating one. It's a game that plays very similar to the way the traversal and how you would move around the areas in the old God of War games, where you go to an area, you fight a bunch of people, it unlocks, and you kind of move on to another area, and the camera will dynamically move. Yeah. It would dynamically move around and stuff like that. And you had a lot of jumping around and trying to figure out puzzles and shit like that. And so that's essentially the way the game plays. But the difference, it takes place in ancient time India. It's a story of a brother and sister, and Raji is who you play, and the sister, and Golu is a little brother who gets separated by some demon hordes that come attacking, and this is in the middle of a great war or something like that, and so you're just trying to find him. Essentially, you're trying to, and it's the cutscenes are sort of told almost in a play form, or almost like in a shadow puppet form, which is really fascinating. Really cool way of doing the story, and it's cool stuff. If you check out the gameplay, you can kind of see, oh, this does look like the old school. Again, not God of War in the sense that the way she moves, she's just using a staff and some magical abilities. Nothing brutal like him, but it's just the way the old games used to play with God of War, and that's kind of how you're fighting some. But it's a lot of fun, and I'm just playing it in between when I'm not playing the game that I've been obsessing with my wife. And I can't believe how into it she is in the game. That's, of course, It Takes Two. I don't know if I mentioned this last week. I feel like maybe I did. I don't know.
Yeah,
we had just touched into it. Yeah.
Yeah, because
So
you were stuck actually. The last time you were stuck. So this is the part where you unstuck yourself.
unstuck ourselves. Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. Okay, so first off, it became a little bit scary because I was just like, she's enjoying it, and her obviously the main issue is her being able to control the 3D camera
Mm.
while platforming, while having to shoot, while having to do certain things. This game, first off, dude, seriously, shout out to It Takes Two. This game has so many different gameplay elements. It's like, how the hell did he fit?
Mhm.
They fit all this into one game. You have your third
Game of the
person
year, bro.
shooter type moments. You have your isometric view dungeon crawler moments, along with like abilities and power gauges that you don't have any other any other part of the game. Obviously, your 3D platforming, your puzzles, your it is insane the amount of stuff they have included, and it's a gorgeous looking game. And I mean, I'm in awe how beautiful this game is. You know what I mean, and
Yeah.
how just the little things that you can do with it. Um, every time you go into a new area, it's a whole new gameplay element. It's an element where at some point we find fidget spinners, we put it on our back, and that's how we're gliding into through areas because we'll spin it and just jump on it and glide, and it just works, bro. It just works. You know what I mean? It's like, man. Anyway, this
Just sounded like Todd
Haze.
Howard there. It just works.
It just, I know. I as I said it too, I recognize him saying that. But no, Todd Howard, this just works. 76, we're still waiting for that shit to work.
You can see
We
that mountain over there. You can just walk it.
could just walk it. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, one of the concerns was her trying to get past that, and we were in like the second chapter, and we come into an area where now we're taking on a boss, and this boss is extremely challenging, and because in one hit if you get hit by him, he can one hit will take you out. And the way the gameplay works is
Ooh.
if you both die, then the fight starts over. If one of you dies, you can just sort of resurrect yourself, and you do it yourself. I don't have to come to you to do it. You could just resurrect yourself. It just takes a moment. As
Uh-huh.
long as one of you is always alive, the fight continues. You know what I mean? It's
Gotcha.
when both of you go. So obviously, I put it on my responsibility myself. I can't fucking die, because it's happening to her a lot. So I got to make sure I'm on top of my game. And I just we were hitting a wall with this. So we're in an picture an arena, and there's this huge beetle, and his shell is completely like impervious to any damage. So we have to pour down some of this weird goo that I have a gun that shoots out goo. And the goo, you have different physics based games. Like sometimes you'll hit it on there's like an elevator or something like that, or some sort of whatever. I can hit it and it starts to weigh down the elevator, so it brings it down. That's one way of using it. Another way is if she shot the goo that I had put out, it would explode. So we figured out, okay, we need to use that, make sure he runs over it, and you shoot it as he runs over it, and it'll blow up. Well, that required her to be able to aim when we needed her to aim. And the problem is the thing constantly went back and forth. They would come after me, I'd avoid it. Then it'd go back to her, and half the time she's facing the wrong way and she gets hit. You know what I mean? So it became such a challenge. But at some point we were whittling him down. And dude, I fucked up. This is my own fuck up. I'm going to admit it right here, ladies and gentlemen. Admit this right here. I paused because she didn't think we were making any progress. I paused the game so I can show her, look at the top, that red bar, that's his health bar. Look where it is at now. It was at maybe a quarter left. And we have already been fighting this thing probably for a good 20 minutes. Yeah. And so I go back to unpause, but I realize I moved the cursor down and it restarted checkpoint. Well, guess where that checkpoint was? The beginning of the fucking fight.
Oh no.
Dude, we were so first off, I was so frustrated. Not at her because this obviously was my fault. I was just really upset at myself because I was like, oh my God, I just eliminated all the progress we made.
Mega fucked up.
Yeah, extremely fucked up, dude. And for the rest of the night, we played for another probably 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, never even got a hit on him. And it was at that point we knew we were just deflated, you know what I mean? And I was like, I don't, at that point I was like, she wasn't getting frustrated. She's like, oh my God, I keep getting killed. I'm like, honey, it's okay. As long as I'm here, we'll be okay. We can do this. So I didn't know if we were gonna make it, but then like she started making plans and I started making plans. We're not playing, but we like throughout the day at work. She goes, if we do this, I think like, I think so too. So let's try this out. We just started doing these weird plans. Then I realized the simplicity of it. I need her to be facing where I'm putting the goo down, which is in specific spots, but I'm putting it at the 4 spots around the arena. Well, that requires for her to turn around and look and find it quickly. That's what's fucking her up. So instead, I put it always to the one right in front. So whenever she dies, she respawns in the same spot, facing the same direction, and it faces one of the spots. So I was like, okay, I'm always going to go to this spot. So whenever she comes back from being killed and getting respawned, she's already facing it. All she has to do is line it up. And that's how we beat him.
and that was the trick.
That was the trick.
And I can't imagine how you guys were doing it before they got 3/4 of the way before you suicide the mission.
Oh, dude, at that point we were. I mean, like I said, the one battle. This when we did this one, it didn't take as long. We probably were there for 10 minutes, something like that. But that one battle, we were 20-25 minutes in. This one fight, bro, and this is not meant to last. The fight's not meant to last that long. If it was, regular players like you and me, we'd probably be through it in a couple minutes. You know what I mean? But it was just because she couldn't maneuver or aim. Yeah. So it was like, I get it. It's just gonna take longer. We'll get through it, and we were. And then I fucked it up. You know what I mean? But she is definitely into it. As a matter of fact, before we started the podcast, I had just finished eating and I was like, yeah. She's like, when did you start? Are you guys starting soon? I was like, well, I got out on time today. And I was like, oh, yeah, we'll see. Because we normally start a little later. So I'll probably just, and she was like, well, if you're going to be a moment, let's play a little bit. And I was like, but honey, you got to eat, don't you? You haven't eaten yet. So I don't know. I was like, okay, I find it adorable. You know what I mean? Oh, this is cool. On top of that, cool. She asked me the other day, she was like, is there any game that can help me get better with the camera? And first off, after falling in love with her all over again, I realized, okay, let me see what I can find. You know what I mean? And so I ended up buying the Stanley Parable. And I said, here we go. This is a 3D camera game. You don't have to worry about dying. All you got to do is follow where you need to follow. And so when we're not playing this one, and she's not playing Tetris because she still likes Tetris, there's that one, you know what I mean? But dude, I cannot express, I really, really cannot express how amazing It Takes Two is. And when we do it, because that was the other thing. I posted some gameplay of it on the group, and Armando posted on there that him and Cynthia had gone through it, and they enjoyed the hell out of it. And then I side messaged him, and I was just curious. I was like, did she have trouble? And if she did, what did you do to help out? And he was just like, oh yeah, she was struggling. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right, I get it. And he was like, at some points he would just, take the controller, but it's like, that's not always possible because I can't control 2 controllers. You know what I mean? It's not possible. Yeah. Sometimes I'm doing something and I need her to be able to do it. But in that case, she literally just made the decision to just say, no, she's going to figure it out. And it takes a little bit. There was one platforming section. Those are the 2 things I've noticed so far. Mm-hmm. Platforming and like regular platforming, because she can't gauge the distance sometimes, and the control stick, sometimes she thinks she's pressing up, but she's actually pressing up to the left a little bit, so she ends up missing the platform. So she's still figuring that part out. But there was this one platforming session that took us probably the length of the same fight that we had, because it was like we had to keep redoing it. But we got it. And when we got it, bro, it was exhilarating, bro. It was good stuff. But dude, props to fucking Hazelight, bro. Seriously, an amazing game. But anyway, that is all that we have been doing. Guys, and I don't know how we're gonna do this. I figure we can, you know what, here's what we're gonna do.
All right.
We're gonna go into some useless news, and this particular useless news will include the Capcom and the Final Fantasy. We'll do that. How about that?
In my Final Fantasy, you probably meant Square Enix, but in reality, it was
It's
all
Final
about
Fantasy.
Yeah.
The entire thing wasn't. It was called Final Fantasy 25th Anniversary. So
That's true.
It's all it was. Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
It just happened to be made by Square. I mean, what are you gonna do? What a coincidence, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start with Capcom. So that was the early one in the week. Capcom had a countdown showcase, and it announced several things, mostly with Resident Evil, because that's just their bread and butter nowadays, guys. But also some Monster Hunter. So let's not take that away from it. But speaking of which, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak expansion gets multiple new details and will have a demo. Sunbreak is set to release on June 30th. Sir, this is on the Switch and on PC. Are you caring at all?
I mean, it's not. I'm not on my radar. Honestly, no. I'll
Fair enough.
see reviews on that if
All
anything.
right.
But like, it's not. I mean, I'm glad they're doing something new, but I don't know. It's not calling my attention.
Makes sense. Completely, sir. It's not really calling my attention either. Monster Hunter World is kind of where I was at. Spent a lot of the time, and I don't know if I would even care at this point. But
I like Monster Hunter World a whole more than. But and I heard the new Monster Hunter is fast and whatever. It's faster, you know.
Yeah,
but
it has grapple hooks too.
it has, yeah. It's just it looks weird. Also, I like the idea of Monster Hunter more than the actual Monster Hunter game themselves. It's just that world looks so gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
world look great.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Again, that does get released June 30th. The demo will be available, or is available already, on the 14th. So go check it out if you are interested. Exoprimal got a gameplay trailer. Closed network test coming ahead of release. Exoprimal is set to release on 2023, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox XS and S. Ooh, wow, nailed that.
Nice.
And PC. And it looks to be a PvPvE type of thing against a slew of dinosaurs. I still have zero care for this game. It's so wacky. Yeah, it's so wacky. I have no idea, no clue what's going on. They had a developer kind of talking through as things were happening. I'm like, oh, I don't care about this. None of this. I'm sure somebody likes it, and hey, to each their own. I'm not gonna yuck your yum, but oof, not for me.
No, my type of game. Also, I didn't think it looked particularly great either. So
no, yeah. But I mean, what are you gonna do when you have millions of dinosaurs on screen? It's like something's gonna take a hit somewhere. You know what I mean? So,
you gotta give.
Yeah, exactly.
Have millions of dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's like they're all over the place. Okay, so and there's this big open space. I'm like, yeah, that explains the visuals. They weren't horrible, but they definitely were. We weren't looking at next gen. So anyway, Street Fighter 6 got at least one more announcement. Or rather, will get one more announcement. They showed off a little bit of Street Fighter 6, kind of what we already saw. A lot of the stuff happened after. I did want to kind of talk a little bit about this and why So first off, we were discussing this off air. I have owned all the Street Fighters at one point or another, and I even ended up buying the 15-year or 20-year anniversary edition. It had like a bunch of them, whatever.
30-year anniversary.
Maybe it was 30. Yeah. So maybe that's 25. It doesn't matter. The point is, I had the collection that had like so many different versions of it, and so yeah, I am curious, right? Because we played Street Fighter 5, and obviously we got a bare bones game. The gameplay was good, it was your Street Fighter fare, but it was just a lot of nothing else. You know what I mean? Here they look to really change that. They are bringing in some sort of single player type little mission based thing.
Don't know what that is. I'm still thinking that that's just a lobby, kind of like PlayStation.
No, because there is a lobby. There's two. They mentioned the two. That's what I was saying. I was listening to a little bit of the developer interview, and there is the lobby that takes you to certain places, but there's also some sort of single player type thing similar to what do you call it? Like I mentioned from the Mortal Kombat series, what's that shit called? Like that single player thing that you would go around and campaign mode. Yeah, like a small campaign mode. And to be fair, so are all the ones with DC. What is that shit called?
Oh my god!
I know. Why can't I remember this shit?
It's because we're old, bro. Because we're fucking old, and that's what's happening. That's what's showing. And it's getting recorded also, which is even worse because then, this fucking millennials are gonna be laughing at us.
The Mortal Kombat DC thing.
The Mortal Kombat DC thing has a name, and that name is.
Are you looking it up?
I'm fucking yes, I am. It starts with a U.
Uncharted. No.
And Injustice. It starts with an I. Injustice.
That's the one. Injustice. Fucker. So similar to that had its own campaign, right? Actually, that was probably more campaign than anything else, though you had a lot of the fighting in there. I think a lot of fighting. Yeah, excellent campaign. I think a lot of fighting games have seen some success with that, and I think Street Fighter is trying to. They were supposed to do that with 5, and they never came around to it. But I think they're trying to really.
They did.
They did.
Probably, yeah, but
it was no good.
Like by the time it came out, like no one cared, and it wasn't good at all.
Yeah.
It was not the quality of people were expecting the quality of Mortal Kombat, and it was like, dude, totally not. 100%
no. So I guess we can look forward to that.
Yes. To their debut.
Yeah. So we'll see but yes, there is a lobby and there is supposed to be that. So there are two, they were mentioned separately, which is why I'm like, okay, they're definitely trying to do that. And for obvious reasons, there are folks who, like for me, for instance, I never got Injustice because I wanted to fight in Injustice. I got Injustice because I wanted to play and hear the story. And you also get to fight through the game as well,
Yeah.
So that's about it.
That's play all the characters, so you have you have an excuse to use them all.
Exactly. So if they can do something similar, that would be I would be okay with that. Another thing that they mentioned was their move away from Unreal. I think they mentioned this in a release a little bit before that, but it was interesting. I wanted to bring it up. I found it weird because they were saying that Unreal has had issues with, and this has been since they've gone into 3D mode essentially, with input latency or input delays or whatever it's called, and which is kind of crazy. So they're going with the RE engines. This one was being made on RE engine, and so that was an interesting reveal. And the last reveal,
I think that's bullshit though. I 100% think that's bullshit because Unreal, like, problems with input delay. I mean, how come there's so many other fighters that use the Unreal Engine and that don't have any issues with input delay? I think this is just an explanation of why they're not going to Unreal or anything like that, because they don't have to. They have their engine. They have a pretty damn good engine. So I don't blame them from using that. But don't go around saying like, oh, it's because, it's Unreal. It's kind of problematic. Yeah, it's probably problematic for you, but apparently not for any other company making fighting games using the Unreal Engine.
Well, that I agree, or I would agree if Epic didn't come out saying that they're working on addressing the input delay for Unreal Engine. So
probably for again. Other games have done it though. I mean, what is and Final Fantasy, fucking Street Fighter, not the fastest fighting game that requires the.
I know. I agree. So I
don't know exactly what they're particular, or is it that suddenly all fighting games are gonna just move to the RE engine because the RE engine is the fighting game? Like, give me a break.
Oh no! No, I'm pretty sure that's not what it is. There's no way they can. I mean, who knows? They can try to, but I can see them being laughed out of the room. It's like, no, bro, we're gonna go with Unreal. Thank you.
Yeah. If there was
Yeah.
anything, I mean, if there was anything that probably knew how to work around it, and Capcom didn't, and
Yeah.
that's fine. They don't have again.
Now they don't
have
have
the
to,
fucking
sure.
engine. They don't have to pay royalties to Epic.
It definitely is. It definitely is.
There's an
Let's
advantage.
let's be real. That's also an advantage. You know what I mean? It's like you don't have to pay anything for
Yeah,
it yet. So,
exactly.
agree. And the last bit is new to the series is a modern mode. So you have a classic mode. When classic mode is you got your buttons, you have to do your combinations, you have to do everything you need to do to get your character to do whatever. Modern mode will put moves like you can do a fireball by pressing just the triangle button, or the hurricane kick by just
It's a
pressing the
combination.
circle
I think
button.
I heard you still need to. You don't need to do like circle moves, but you press a direction.
Correct. Yes,
And
a
the
directional, and then yeah.
Right.
And so that's interesting. I don't know 100% how I feel about that, but I guess
it's
it does
fine.
help with for those who can't do the moves and stuff like that. So
it's fine for accessibility and
accessibility.
yeah,
I can think of the
and
phrase, yeah.
yeah, and yeah, people that like easy games. I don't know. It's still
Sure, for that too.
I don't want to say it in a way that sounds demeaning because I'm totally
no,
not.
I
You guys know
mean,
that I'm not.
for
I'm
people
not about that.
who want to play it casually. It's
just
really
like,
more, yeah.
In reality, the drama of the fighting games more than anything is, and this is from a person that is not a fighting game, so guys don't fucking like Dark is gonna try to destroy me. I know, Dark, don't worry, bro. I still admire the hell out of the way you play. You're a god. But what I'm trying to say is that a lot of the drama to me on fighting games, or that excitement is the counter moves themselves rather than how the person was able to pull it off. To me, it's more like the strategy of knowing, this person is gonna do a fireball, so I better counter with this, or this person is, just the
There are
person
elements,
knowing how to act and counteract, rather than trying to make sure you don't fuck up the move. And let's face it, a lot of the characters I've never I've never learned to play it because I never gotten down the moves. Like Guile was a character that is cool and all, but I could never get those fucking sonic booms down perfectly, like flawlessly. That's why I always defaulted to the Ryu's and Kens, and because he was like the first character you learn how to play. Circle moves are easy to do, so therefore those are the ones that stuck with.
Yeah. I agree.
So I don't mind that the inclusion. Also,
no, I don't
if
mind
you don't
either.
want
But
to play it like that, then just
someone in another was it a video or something I was watching, and they were mentioning an interesting aspect of it. And again, we're talking high level tournament play.
Right.
For casuals, no one's gonna give a shit. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
high level tournament play is like, well, there's certain advantages to being able to, say, for instance, walk forward, and as you're walking forward, throw a fireball. Where if you have to actually make the motion to to do the fireball, you're gonna have to stop walking forward so that you can throw said fireball. You know what I mean? And that little split, whatever, has an advantage.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I never thought of that. Never
Again,
this
is the easy this is the easy mode. So
yeah.
Congratulations, Street Fighter has an easy mode, guys. Let it rain brimstone and fire.
Oh, it will.
It will. World.
Let me tell you, it will. It will. Although, like I said, the person I was listening to is this guy named Vincent something, and he's big into the fighting game, whatever. And he said this is not going to affect the high, your evil players, because it's not just about being able to do that. There's so many other elements.
Yeah, they're not gonna go. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then that type of mode is not going to be available there. It's like, no, you want to do that, you're going to play at home. But
also,
but
legitimately, everything that's calling the name of accessibility and making things simple is actually more like marketing. It's actually we want more people to play.
And that's, and the reality is that's throw that into the same thing with the story mode and everything else, I feel like Street Fighter 6 is really trying to throw that blanket, especially after Street Fighter 5 really shit the bed, really throw that blanket and say, we're going to just make this for everyone who wants anything part of this, and make it spectacular, look really good, which it does look really good, and then go from there. Basically just throwing everything at the wall, say, we'll go with what sticks. And so that's what it looks, but it looks pretty good. I'm on wait and see mode on that one, but definitely curious. Yeah. And from there, we're going to some of the Resident Evil announcements. First and foremost, we got to see some gameplay of the Resident Evil 4 remake, and it does appear to be like completely, overhauled. Yeah. I thought it looked really, really good. I mean, RE Engine is, again, spectacular when used correctly, which clearly these guys know what the fuck they're doing. It looks really good, dude. I am like kind of anticipation on this one. You know what I mean? Not like high anticipation, but I'm like, this may be week one. You know what I mean?
I mean, this is the Resident Evil, right? It's always been like, it's Resident Evil 4. It's like this is the Final Fantasy 7 of Resident Evil games. So it's the one that everybody wants, have played and they won remakes and all that. And that's basically what you're getting. I mean, this game has been released so many times that it was one of the reasons why I never like replayed it again. First of all, I played the original and loved it and beat it.
Did you finish it?
Yeah.
I never finished it.
You did? Oh wow.
No, I got to okay.
No, I was just gonna say this is your chance.
Oh yeah, I mean, sure, but I also, in my head, I always will leave that other one undone. It will bother the hell out of me.
The original one is like, well, get a hold of any of the 20,000 copy versions.
I have it now, thanks to PlayStation Plus Premium, whatever. I have
there you go. Yeah. There you go. I mean, this game is like Skyrim. It's everywhere now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So play that, and now you're getting. I mean, you're getting a different take. The reimagining is gonna be,
and it's gonna, with the way that I'm telling you, bro. You never played Resident Evil 3, but you did play a little bit of Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah, I played enough of Resident Evil 2 to know that game is amazing, and I do want to, and I do intend to go back to it at some point in my life. I don't know. I don't care about, or I shouldn't say.
You just stream it when you do. Go back and stream it. It'll be great.
Yeah, sure. Resident Evil 3. It's I don't know. I didn't. It looked like an inferior version from 2, so I'm more excited to go back to 2 than to ever.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was a step back, right. But it still was a good game. It was. I mean, and there's no denying that. Just look at the Metacritic. It was still a good game. It just was missing some things, and like the whole Mr. X, for instance, was more of a nemesis than Nemesis was. You know what I mean? It's like Nemesis is a little more scripted, while Mr. X, you're like, I don't know what he's gonna do. You don't have to figure his fucking pattern, and you realize he really doesn't have a pattern. He's just wandering out there. Yeah, and you run into him by accident. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Resident Evil Village gets some expansions, which includes Shadow of Rose story DLC, and they showed off a little bit of their no gameplay, but I think it was a gameplay story trailer. This is going to be released on October 28th as part of the Winter's expansion DLC. I will definitely get this because I did play Resident Evil Village. Really, really good game, sir, and I think you have it too. So I'm gonna need you to get on that shit at some point, please. Wow. Resident Evil Village mercenary modes will now let you play as several characters, including Lady Dimitrescu, which every fanboy out there, I'm sure, is dying to do. This is going to be released on October 28th, also as part of the Winter's expansion DLC. And then Resident Evil Village is also getting part of that same DLC, is getting a third-person mode. So you get to play the game very similar to, Resident Evil 4.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, that does sound cool.
I might wait for that.
Huh?
I might wait for that.
Yeah, that might be the way to play it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2 remake, Resident Evil 3 remake, Resident Evil 7 remake, not remake. Free next gen upgrades are available as we speak. I think Dark already downloaded them and started playing them on Twitch. So if you're interested, I might go back to 2 because I'm kind of itching for it a little bit. That's such a freaking good game, and to play it at a 4K high frame rate.
Ray tracing.
Yeah, sounds good. Resident Evil Reverse. You remember that multiplayer game from Resident Evil that no one asked for?
No one remembers either.
Oh, I do. Will officially launch also on October 28th. It is, of course, a 6-player PvP deathmatch game that puts players in the shoes of characters from all Resident Evil series to put them together with no story purpose, just to say, fuck it, let's do this.
No one will play this.
Oh no, this is the next Shadowfall.
This is as dead on water as
Babylon's Fall. That's what.
Yeah, has Babylon's Fall. Exactly. I was gonna say Battleborn, but
actually, you know what? I take that back. This may actually have a little bit of chance because this is free. If you bought the game, it's free.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So this may actually have a better chance. No one has to pay $60 for it.
Yeah,
it was supposed to come out with the main game and it never did. But anyway,
well, if it's free, then
yeah, they may have a little bit more legs. A little more legs. Yeah. Finally, Dragon's Dogma 10th anniversary event teased, but no sequel announced. So the event itself will take place on Thursday, June 16th, which we clearly missed. Because I didn't even know.
I was going to say, like, wait a minute, that happened already. And yes, he was announced.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Didn't show anything.
Oh,
yeah, that was not like screenshot of gameplay or anything like that. It was more a logo, just confirming that, hey, yes, we hear you guys. I heard you guys like Dragon Dogma, so we're gonna,
How is that an event? I don't understand. Anniversary events, and that's what they did. They came out and said, "Hey guys,
that was enough. That was enough."
Okay,
saying right. Dragon's Dogma is back, baby.
Well said, sir. Well said. Well said. Are you a Dragon Dogma fan?
I like Dragons. Let me tell you, I enjoyed what I played of it. I think it's a very underrated game. It sort of became a cult classic when it actually should have been like a AAA hit. I feel like now it will have the opportunity to become an actual like AAA title. I feel like before it had the quality, but I guess not the impulse. Not a lot of people were on it. It just had a cult following almost. I played it and I thought that game was great.
Okay,
I thought the fighting was fantastic on it.
All right. I don't have any connection to it other than the fact that it's mentioned so often everywhere. And I'm just like, that must be a boat I missed somewhere. But guess what? It's on PlayStation Premium. So I'm going to go back to it at some point and enjoy that.
It's a lengthy RPG. I don't know if it...
Then in that case, I will probably just play 10 hours of it and go, yep, I get it.
I see it. See you in Dragon's Dogma 2.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, let's pivot over to the Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary event, showcase, celebration. I don't know, whatever it was called. And several announcements here. Let's start with the big one. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Yes, this is the official part 2 to Final Fantasy VII Remake. And they showed off a little bit of just no gameplay, just a lot of cutscenes and a lot of characters talking, saying things that really we can't piece together. But
have you seen the trailer? So you saw
I have seen it. Yes, I have.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
What do you think, sir?
Well, my first thought was concern at you. Be like, I don't think Mad Dog's gonna like this. I'm obviously super stoked about the fact that the project continues. I knew it was going to happen, but just kind of seeing it. And no, I wasn't expecting it to be like, all of a sudden it's just going to look entirely different. It's like, no, it's obviously going to be the second iteration, the second part of this new take on Final Fantasy VII, and yes, it is a very new take because it might not. The trailer gave me the impression that
certain events may not occur the way they occurred originally.
yeah,
Yes, yes, I
and
got
this,
that.
yeah, this might be, and I don't know if I'm 100% behind it. Like I they they mentioned like I like it, like you hear Aerith's voice being very aware of the fact that you call, am I a what's you say? Am I a imposter? Are you saying that I'm dead?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah,
guys, no,
exactly what it
come
is. It's like
on,
there's somewhere along the line there's a vision or
oh,
something.
have to fuck with that. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
obviously, it needs to be
If it gets done well, sir, I'll be the first to say here. Okay, I know you were concerned about it, and then when I watched it, I was like, oh, okay, I see why he means I'm concerned about it. Okay, I really liked a freaking Final Fantasy VII remake. I don't know if I loved it. Part of me feels like I loved it. Another part of me feels like a little betrayed. You know what I mean? Because in the end, yes, they are, building new ground in a tale that we all know,
right.
and in essence, that is fascinating, and I do want that. But again, the promise, in essence, is not. They are, well, they're not delivering the promise, and the promise was a remake of the. Now they never sat back and said we're gonna make it, a beat for beat remake. You know what I mean? They never said that. So I guess, truthfully, I can't be too mad at them.
If anything, they were very, yeah, they play with your expectations, sort of.
They
That
did,
has a name
and
and I forgot what it is, but
subverting.
subverting,
So
yes,
yeah, and
subverting.
they did do that, and the path that they can possibly take now is almost in itself a promise, because there was this belief that, spoilers here for Final Fantasy VII, Aerith can come back, that there was a way of bringing her back. Never. It was never in the game. Doesn't exist. People tried it a million times. There's so much things out there you can find where people tried every little
With a
thing.
Game Genie, you
You
can.
cannot. Now you can on PC because you can fucking mod the shit out of it.
And with
But
a Game
outside,
Genie, you could.
oh, with a Game Genie. Wait, a Game Genie on
Yeah,
disc
there was a Game Genie for this. Yeah.
for disc? Oh shit, I didn't know that. But anyway, the point is, technically, the game never meant for you to be able to do that. So, in essence, this is almost a way of delivering that, right? Because when you get to the end of Final Fantasy, the original, you realize that was his love, Cloud's love, and she's gone. She's not coming back, So this is almost a way of saying, hey, what if we were to take that and make it so that they're a little self-aware of another timeline that can possibly go that route? And we are in the multiverse of everything at this point.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So why not go along with that role? And it's like, okay, all right. If you can not fucking Square Enix this shit up and really deliver us a compelling version of that, then I'm in.
Listen, I feel, having played Final Fantasy VII Remake twice, I think they did a pretty good job with not Square Enix the fuck out of it. Now, yes, he had a little bit of it did have a little bit of it, but once I understood the motive, it made sense, and I would say that's what has me hopeful about this version. Also, they can still fuck it up. I'm not saying this.
Yeah, it's still possible. Yeah.
But I think they did very well with this with remake. I'm looking forward to Rebirth, because Rebirth implied, even in the name, it implied that this is gonna be something new, and something it's a new big, it's something different. It's like something off of whatever the end you got on remake. That was your remake. What's coming from here on out, it could be its own thing. Now, I don't want it too apart either. Obviously,
No, I
to be
feel
able
it's
to
gonna
still recognize
yeah.
the section and touch it.
You gotta go to Nibelheim. You gotta go to
Nibelheim. You gotta go to Golden Saucer.
You gotta go to Golden Saucer.
You gotta go to
to
Costa del Sol. Um,
Yeah, absolutely. There's certain requirements. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if we need to do. I would say this. I don't know if we need to do
The overworld.
the mountain. No, well, yeah, they're not going to do the. I don't think they're going to
No,
do that.
they're not gonna do the over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, this is going to be a little more linear. But
yeah.
the mountain where Red 13 was from,
Oh my
we can
God,
skip.
no,
Yeah,
please.
we can skip
You
that shit. Yeah,
total no. What are you
oh, you
talking
need to go there.
about?
Oh,
Oh
no.
my God,
You can
yes.
go there, but you don't need to use. So okay, yes, you can go there because I remember the old man that was there, and he kind of told you the whole history of Gaia and the whatever and the life force and all that. All right, we can get that exposition, sure. Can we get it another way? Maybe, but maybe the whole fighting that undead thing for
Oh,
maybe
there's a
that's
lot of
not.
things I don't remember. Yeah, no, you're right. To be fair, you played it more times than I did, so I trust your judgment better. If you say this should be edited, then edit edit the shall.
I mean, it could be truncated. Maybe not
Right,
edit out
right,
completely because there's a lot of Red 13 history there. Like that's when you find out he's actually a pup, compared to
Mhm,
because
mhm.
even though I don't know, he's 100 years old or some shit like that. He's basically Chewy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so anyway, but there's certain elements that can be truncated. But the thing is, I don't know where is the next stopping point. This is supposed to be a trilogy now. It's a fact. This is
Well,
supposed to be a trilogy.
the stopping point is obviously at her death, right?
Well, sure, but then that happens at the end of disc one. There's a lot of disc. There's an entire disc two and a good chunk of disc three.
I know, but we have
Or
mentioned the thing.
was that more grinding? Maybe that's
There's
what's
so
going
much that we didn't say because we don't even fucking remember it. That's probably the shit that can get reduced or cut down or whatever. Or who knows? This might be an even bigger project than Final Fantasy 7 remake was. I sure hope so. Maybe
maybe,
this is bigger.
maybe, yeah. Ooh, I
Yeah,
don't
and
know.
then the third one is
It's
even
like 40
bigger than
something
that
hours.
because
I
of
don't
course they
know.
need to be so maybe that's how they complete it. So yeah, I got the also it looks like the quintessential uh cliffhanger to leave it on.
I mean, true. I mean, that's essentially how the disc end.
Right.
And it would be. I don't know how it would feel because I'm thinking, and then I can tell this can eat up
Because it
so
will be
much time of the fucking podcast. So we can probably save this for our own opinion, something like that. But it in the changing of the timeline, in certain things, usually it ends up falling on someone else, right?
right.
It's like, okay, we're doing, it does this so we can change this, but then that causes this. You know what I mean? And
Right.
it's like and I don't know how I would feel about that. I feel like would that be cheap? Like for instance, the remake of Star Trek. Spoilers here for Star Trek, the most recent series of movies. Um, they sort of redid Wrath of Khan, but because it's a different timeline or different version, suddenly it's not Spock who gets killed, it's Kirk, and that doesn't
Mhm.
really go the same way, and that feels really cheap. And it's like you guys fucked
Mhm.
it up. The original
Yeah,
Wrath of Khan is good. We should have just left
replacing a
this shit.
death with another death is again. There's an opportunity here for Square to surprise us, and who knows, it might not have to be necessarily a death or an expected death or anything like that. Like who knows.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I was fucking surprised, and we can jump into the next game with this one if you like.
Hmm.
With the fact that fucking Zack was alive on Final Fantasy VII remake.
At the end,
At
yes. Yeah,
the
yeah,
end,
yeah.
it's like,
Spoilers. Yeah, yeah.
no, hold on.
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't I? Didn't you? Didn't this? It's like, oh no, wait.
Yeah,
I
something
don't know who
happened
that
there.
is,
Yep.
but I remember I saw a body.
Yeah. And I saw what looked like gunshots that took me
Yes,
out. Yeah,
I
yeah.
do remember Zach, not taking very well to bullets.
Yeah. Yeah, the game he mentions here is another announcement, of course, is Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. And this is essentially the prequel to Final Fantasy VII, focuses on Zack, which is the original Buster Sword wielding soldier. And this is a game that is fully remastered from the PSP version. and brings the game and, according to many, its unforgettable story up to date with modern platforms. It will launch on PlayStation 5, 4, Xbox Series X, X, and S, and Nintendo Switch.
And Nintendo Switch, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Your thoughts, sir, because I know you had something to say. We had to hit the record button in order to say it.
I temper you guys' expectations is all I ask. Please. This was one of those prequels that felt very forced into like, let's take advantage of the people that miss Final Fantasy VII and they want to just have a little bit more of that world, which is cool in itself. But this is not Final Fantasy VII, nor is it gonna play like Final Fantasy VII. Also, I don't know what happened. If this is made on the same engine, like why does everything look like ass? Is it because it needs to be on the Switch?
Possibly. I mean, it's coming to the Switch. Yeah,
I was not impressed with the graphics at all. It's like, wait, you're telling me this is coming for next gen, and somehow it looks a hell of a lot worse than.
Well, it's coming to PlayStation 4 as well and Xbox One. So
right, but
so it's the lowest denominator.
On 4 look great. This doesn't look great. It looks like several shaders and several resolution wise and everything. It looks very toned down for some reason, and I'm thinking this can't. Like I was thinking, did they just up-res the PSP? But the graphics, but
I
that's
remember
impossible.
seeing.
No. And it wouldn't look like that.
Mm.
But yet, some things almost make me think they do.
This is definitely a. I mean, this is definitely a quick version of it. It does not look like the Final Fantasy VII remake. No, it does not.
No, but it should have, because it's. I mean, isn't that the same assets? Like this was deliberately made to look a little bit worse for some reason. I mean, I know the reason now is because of the Switch. It's
I was gonna say, I think it has to do with the fact that it's probably coming to Switch. It's probably going native to the Switch, not like Switch fucking cloud or something like that.
No.
And in there lies your issue. And it's also a much smaller game. You know what I mean? So they can probably get it running on the Switch the way we're seeing it here, and still have every asset because it's not that big a game. It was a PSP game originally. You know what I mean? So
I did not like that the way it looked. I mean, it's cool that you get.
We didn't look horrible, but I know what you mean in comparison. Yeah.
I mean, no, and to be fair, it doesn't look like ass. It just when you compare it to remake and I'm talking about PS4 version of remake and knowing that exists and those assets are done, it like makes you wonder, like, why did they feel the need to go back and cut down on the graphical fidelity of it for some reason? Like, I don't get it.
I don't know.
If it's coming to the Switch, then it kind of makes
it gives a little sense. Yeah,
they should have just done that for the Switch then, unless that's what they showed. They were just
I was gonna say maybe we're just seeing the Switch version. Exactly. Yeah.
Right now, so you can see.
Yeah, so I don't have a date here. That's one thing I don't have.
Oh, this winter.
This winter.
Score is this winter.
Okay.
And then.
Well, there you go. That's why. This is a step. It's literally what the original Crisis Core was, which was, hey, they want more of this. We are not giving more of this, but we'll give this instead. And this is like, hey, they want more. They need the next chapter, but the next chapter is not till next year, the end of next year. Let's give them this one in the meantime. You know what I mean? And it's a bite size, and we'll get it quick, or they can sit there and work on it and make it look special, right? And it's like, well, is it special? It's not the main game. So
somebody actually made the Final Fantasy VII remake versus original PSP early graphics comparison, like a side by side, like a phenomenal side by side, because it's almost like you look. Like you look at it and you realize, like, oh, this is probably the reason why they went with the lower fidelity, is because it looks like they were literally using the engine of it and just spruce it up a
And
little bit.
just spruce it up. Oh, okay. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
then that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah.
Might as well, right? Because you'll still get you'll still get the gameplay. It just
You still
will.
get it. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It is still a legitimate. It is still a legitimate a game rather than. I guess it's not a remake the way I was thinking.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, we'll call it a
but
remaster. Yeah.
also bad because that game could have used some quality of it. Oh, who knows? Maybe it will have it. Maybe it will have the quality of improvement.
We'll see. Yeah,
Anyway,
we'll
we're
see.
spending too much time on it.
For real, yeah. All right, so we're gonna flash through these real quick because there's not much to go on. And that's of course Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is on Steam,
Yeah,
and so that's already out there, which means of course Santos will buy that because that's how he does.
I hate to say it, but I probably will. No. I just plugged $60 on Horizon.
All right. And then of course Final Fantasy VII, The First Soldier, and Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. These are two mobile games that are coming or are already available. They're in closed beta. And the other one's already out there, season 3, this is a battle royale, which again nobody asked for, but hey, they're in season 3, so somebody's playing it. And then it went through a bunch of merchandise and stuff like that, so we don't have to go into that. But anyway, so that's all that they showed off at Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary celebration. Let's go ahead and move on into our hot topic of the week.
Hot
topic again is best laid plans, guys, and we're now going to go into what Xbox and Bethesda showed off at their hour and a half long showcase. Sir, first off, were you able to watch the entire showcase, or did you skim through?
I did this one because it was like my only experience, full experience that I had time to actually sit down and watch the whole thing.
Gotcha. I also did the same thing, although I came to it a little bit late, but I did sit and watch for 95 minutes was the conference, and focused on what they are releasing within the next 12 months. Most with actual in-game footage too, which is not bad. First and foremost, we're going to start with Redfall.
If it's coming within the next,
I mean, you got to have gameplay at this point, right? Yeah.
It'll be
So the first one is from Bethesda and Arcane Austin, upcoming open world co-op first-person shooter, Redfall. And it is ready to roll in 2023. Sir, what is your hot take on this battle?
I'm not gonna have anybody to play this with, so I'm not even gonna bother. Won't bother unless I hear that this game is fine solo, is soloable, and it's not like a lesser experience just because you play a solo, which it will be, because unfortunately that's the way you could tell that's the way this game is being designed.
Mm-hmm.
It's being designed to be what did you call it before? PvE or
yeah.
No, I think this is PvE. It is mostly PvE if I have to guess. Who knows? But it's made by Arcane. I recently played a game by Arcane. I did not hate it, but I like, I don't know. It looks cool. I mean, it has style, but I don't know if it's my cup of tea.
It's definitely not mine. And not for anything other than the fact that it's a
multiplayer.
It's a co-op multiplayer.
It's a co-op experience that unless now if this was, well, first of all, fucking have to be on PlayStation for this to happen. But if we were to play you, me, Chaos and Dark, this will be fantastic. This will be like fucking day one as long as the reviews are positive, because this will be the type of game that will be fun to play with friends.
Yeah. My issue or my question mark, I would probably not my issue, is it's a first person shooter, but we're vampires, and suddenly I start questioning the lore, and that's just my crazy dumbass that I don't know why I
Yeah,
went to
I
that.
was
But
gonna
it's
say
like,
like, what's the problem? I mean, how many we've killed monsters before with
yeah, but we are
with
aren't we the vampires in the thing, or are we going after vampires? Is that what it is? We're going after
I
vampires.
think we are going after
We're going
vampires.
after vampires. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
We're go-
See, maybe that's where I
yeah,
got
because
confused.
you have power somehow. Oh, it'll be sad if you tell me, "Oh no, we're the good vampires." No, fuck you. Don't do that. I
Yes, we
hope
are.
I certainly hope not. But
I
you
hope not.
seem to have some special powers, or each of the characters has special abilities. The thing I don't like is that I heard that when you play when it's multiple people, it's like, oh, but only the host is advancing to the story. But which is like, come on, we haven't
Yeah,
resolved that. I mean, to tell me but if you get if it's a game where you get loot and then maybe that loot you get to keep for your playthrough, then that changes the game. But we don't know. It's still
yeah.
it
It's still
doesn't
too
look like
early.
that type of game. It doesn't look like a loot game at all. So
No, it does not. It
at
really
all.
looks more like
Yeah, yeah.
an arena type thing
My
to.
heart's not in it. Again, it'll
Yeah.
have to be all of us playing.
Oh, I agree. I agree. The next game we have is Hollow Knight Silk Song, which we already knew was coming, but
Yeah.
the fact that they had it here had me clamoring for, ooh, yes, give me that date.
You like
They didn't give
right.
us a date, but it is coming to Xbox Game Pass. So for Game Pass users, celebrate because you are probably getting one of the best games. If the prior Hollow Knight is anything has anything to say about that, but
Yes.
so yeah, so that is Hollow Knight Silk Song. And moving on, we had a game from Squanch Games, the creator of Rick and Morty, High on Life. Really weird, vibrant first-person shooter with a weird sense of humor. I guess Rick and Morty like. A lot of the guns had little faces on them because the guns look biological for some reason. Um, yeah, this is not for me, but it is due in October 2022 this year, and of course, it is a Game Pass game.
Listen,
Anything to say on this
yeah,
game?
it has the it has the Rick and Morty
Aspect?
humor. No fucking thank you.
Not a fan,
Hard pass.
huh? Okay, all right, not a fan at all.
No.
I watched some Rick and Morty, and they're okay. Um, it's just one of those things. But anyway, Riot Games comes to PC Game Pass with a slew of games. Some of the most played games in the world. League of Legends heads to Game Pass with all champions unlocked. League of Legends Wild Rift with all champions unlocked. League of Legends Runeterra is hitting PC with Foundation set unlocked. Team Fight Tactics with select Little Legends unlocked. And then Valorant with all agents unlocked. Coming to PC Game Pass. That is quite the get, my friend.
That's great. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that. I mean, we're talking about like thousands of dollars on character. Oh, I don't know if it's thousand. I might have heard that figures somewhere, but
I mean, consider how
um,
many characters are in League of Legends. I can see it.
yeah,
Know.
right?
Yeah, yeah. It's
There's a
150
lot.
characters.
There's a
Yeah.
shit ton of content, in there, for fans of those type of games. I know Valorant is very big. Obviously, League of Legends. We don't have to. We don't even have to. I don't know much about Legends of Runeterra or Team Fight Tactics. Like I don't know anything about
I don't
those
think about
two,
those either. Yeah, yeah,
but I know the other ones are like fucking juggernauts.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, the other two, those two may be smaller guys. I mean, but
Yeah,
clearly, if they still have a community, I mean, the community can now just grow. You know what I mean? So I mean,
yeah,
that's
exactly,
only good for them. Yeah.
exactly.
A Plague Tale Requiem, follow up to a Plague Tale Innocence, one of my most anticipated games coming out, coming soon,
Yes.
is coming to Game Pass, and I will not play it there, but I can't wait for it to come out. Sir, are you ever going to fucking play Innocence? Is my
Sir,
question.
it'll please you to know that this trailer made me install A Plague Tale,
Oh,
the first
so
one,
beautiful. And yet you
and
went
I have
with
it standing
Horizon.
by. I have it standing by. I do want to play it because I mean you told me you played this. You said it's awesome.
I mean, keep in mind this. So it's important to know that this is from an indie team.
Yeah,
So it's not. Yes, it's beautiful. It has whatever, but it's not like this
it's
is
not a
not
shooter.
Last of
No,
Us, right? You know what I mean? So you're not going to get that way. It has its moments, whatever, but it's like, man, this is a small team doing this, and they're making this good of a game,
I
great of
can
a
appreciate
story.
that. Oh yeah,
Yeah, it is definitely. So I can't wait for their follow up to that for sure.
yeah.
Next game, Forza Motorsport. Turn 10 finally pulled back the curtain on Forza Motorsport, the long awaited sequel to Forza Motorsport 7, which was announced back in 2020. Sir, this is more of the technical racing game. So, any interest coming spring 2023 to PC and Xbox?
I skipped six, believe it or not. I skipped actually a whole bunch of Forza Motorsports because I was like, I like racing games, but I was never like in love with the sim details, like you call it, the technical aspect of it, of which this particular series heavily relies on.
Mm.
Or I shouldn't say heavily; they're actually being tilting more towards making it accessible, but I'm not skipping this one. This one is definitely gonna be a day one for me, just because
Oh,
again
nice.
I love racing games, and I was I enjoy Forza Horizon, for what it is, and I still pull it every now put it in every now and then and play a little bit when I want to have that arcade experience, but I find myself playing Gran Turismo, a lot, and or not a lot, but lately, and I am enjoying the tweaking thing, like learning about that aspect of it,
Mm.
and part of it actually was Forza that taught me. So applying it in Gran Turismo and realizing, well, they're cars, so obviously, if the simulation is done well, it should be relatively the same, right?
Yeah, we would
So
assume.
very similar take on it. You will hope so, and it has worked, and I like it.
I don't know.
I'm cool with that. So yes,
Good
yes.
stuff.
Although I wouldn't say that anything in the trailer like blew me away. Like at this point, this games look so good already that they start talking about like they can they oh well, I guess they mentioned ray tracing now in the actual while you're racing.
Hmm.
Um and I'm like, well, I guess there's something, because what else are they gonna do? They already have pretty much everything under the sun to throw at. So
For sure, yeah. The next game is already out. Flight Simulator 40th Anniversary Edition looks pretty good for someone who doesn't really care for the game. Even I think. 40th Anniversary Edition will include new helicopters, gliders, aircraft, several other features, including a free space set Halo Infinite add-on. A flyable Pelican was
I
revealed.
I downloaded that shit and put it the moment I had an opportunity to put the game.
Not surprised at
Reviews
all.
of people that know better tell me that it has no business being and flying that good, because you gotta think, flight simulator it's a flight sim.
Mhm.
So how can you make a sim of something that doesn't necessarily exist, or not necessarily, it doesn't exist, but yet they pulled it off. I tried it and I had no fucking clue what I was doing. So
Wow.
I could only VTOL and, and from Sanford Airport. And that's as much as I was able to do. If I was moving forward, it was purely by accident. I did not know how to control it. But I seen gameplay, and yeah, it's amazing that they were able to do that. I love that. I love that they in Forza Horizon they threw the Warhog. So on Flight Simulator, what are they gonna do? It makes sense that they will throw in the Pelican. Sure.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
Good stuff. All right. From there, we got our Blizzard. Activision showed up at the showcase with a brand new look at Overwatch 2, free to play game set to go into early access on October 4th. We really just got some, cutscenes and stuff like that. A new person called Junker Queen. Any interest here, sir? Now that Overwatch is turning the leaf to their sequel?
I recognize Overwatch is a good game. I'm past the part where I will be any threat to anybody. Like my skill is so behind on that game that it'll be a joke for me to try to pick it up and say, oh yeah. So I'm not particularly excited. I'm glad it's coming out finally. I'm glad that it's going free to play and they're adopting the uh the season pass, if
Season
that's
pass
the
one?
only fucking thing they actually do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that, because there was no justification for the game to be its own $60 thing. It just didn't look like it had anything in particular that made it be a $60 title. Like, I don't know. So maybe the campaign, but I don't know that even that campaign, I feel like that might just be a throwaway thing. Kind of like the campaigns in Street Fighter Five.
Well done.
But
Well done, sir.
I did not. It did not pass to me the fact that this is Microsoft is finally flexing its its acquisitions, because they got that they got the Activision ones, except for the Call of Duty one. That you notice they did not speak about Call of Duty here at all.
Nope, not at all.
Because they already had this whole thing before. But later on you're gonna talk about Diablo, and I guess we'll wait until we get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. All right, so let's move on real quick. ARA, or ARA, History Untold, a game that gave off what looks like Civilization vibes. No release date was set, but it will also come to Game Pass. Are you into turn-based strategy?
I like it, a turn-based. Yeah, I love Civilization. Dude, I super love Civilization. Those games are scary. The way that they hold you, it can be crazy. It's scary addictive. I'll tell you that. But that is if you're into them already. If you're not into that, like if that's not your thing, it's like no. But you play chess, and even though this is not chess, but it is you strategize sort of like you do in chess. Makes me think that I don't know if Civilization 6. Well, there was a Civilization game that came out that it was a little bit toned down, but I bet it is on that PlayStation Premium.
Oh, the premium? I have no idea.
I bet it's there.
If it's there, I would have looked right past it. So
I want to say you probably. I almost remember. In my head, I remember you saying that you tried it, but that might be just me going.
No, that's you. Yeah, I never played Civ.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, this is ARA, and again, no release date, but eventually coming.
Yeah.
Fallout 76 has a new expansion, and of course, we're going back to the good expansion of Fallout 3, and that is the Pit.
The Pit.
Yes.
Course.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's stick to what we know.
They need to convince people that this game is good. And to be fair, I played it. I thought that if that game would have been released in the way that I played it, we would be having a different conversation.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
that's just not. So. Yeah, and that's the case of many service games, right? Yes. I mean, service games that come out when they come out stumbling out the gate, but they're backed by determination, money. Well, they survive. And Fallout 76, we had Bethesda. Bethesda at that time was not even it was privately owned. It's not even a publicly traded company. They were making money. So they did, they were able to support it as much as they can. Now they have Microsoft, which, you got money now.
Yeah.
Moving on, Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels. Yes. Looks like another collaboration between Playground Games and Hot Wheels, coming out July 19th. Sir, where are you with that?
My voice might not be carrying, but I'm hoping you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, because I was telling you over and over, you skipped one, sir. You skipped one, but
Oh, I
that's
skipped
okay.
one.
Yeah, the Elder Scrolls Online High Isles.
Oh, well, I'm going on a list
Expansion.
that is probably going out of order. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah.
I thought that was the order. Anyway, that's fine. Because you started talking about Forza Horizon, and I'm like, well, I thought we were with Bethesda, but that's fine. Forza Horizon 5, Hot Wheels. I was at first I was like a little disappointed, but then
Oh,
I got excited. I'll tell you
okay.
why, because we've done Hot Wheels
Mhm.
already. So don't get me wrong, Hot Wheels was better than fucking Lego to me. In Forza Horizon 3, they did Hot Wheels, and Forza Horizon 4, they did the Lego DLC, and I was like, no man, because now that car looks silly. The car looks blocky and shit. It's like no. Um, but it's Forza Horizon 5, like what else would they have done? My mind was thinking like, oh, maybe they do micro machines, and I might have given them an idea for Forza Horizon 6. Who knows? But they didn't get micro machines. No, they got Hot Wheels again.
Yeah, well,
And
I can see them. I can see the difficulty with doing micro machines because if you're gonna do micro machines, then you have to have tracks that are like the living room or the
right,
garage. You know
true,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
You have to customize a little bit more than what would you do here, and what you do with this. I mean, have you seen the trailer? It
Yeah.
looks amazing. It looks
Oh no,
amazing
it
with
looks great.
they have they have the iconic orange tracks
Track. Mm-hmm.
that are going like
Loop de
loop
loops. Yeah.
de
Mm-hmm.
loop and
Yeah.
going all crazy. And the vehicle additions are great, and they don't look too far out when when putting them against the regular cars. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm all upon.
Good stuff.
I bought this game. I mean, being a Horizon fan, I bought the fucking $100 version that includes all the DLC, because I know that at some point I'm gonna touch them all the DLCs. Even if I don't finish the campaigns of all of them, I'm still gonna have a good time with them.
Yeah, yeah. You get your money's worth. So that's what
Hot
matters.
Wheel has a game that came out recently that is its own racer.
Mm-hmm.
So
It got a
nice.
pretty. I think if I remember correctly, people were pretty happy with it.
Yeah, people were
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they liked it. I missed on it. I might need to see if that's on Game Pass. Maybe it is.
Probably will be. Yeah. The next game I have here, apparently I'm out of order, but the next game I have is Arc 2, which was revealed at the Game Awards back
Confirmed.
in 2020. No gameplay, another CGI trailer.
No, I
Game is
feel like it's even the
delayed to
same.
2023.
It feels like the same. Vin Diesel again. It's like, come on, no.
Yeah, not much going on here, other than the fact that, of course, it's coming to Game Pass. No surprise there. Next game I have is one that you were interested in. That this is a game called Scorn, which is a first-person survival game from
Mm.
Serbian developer Ebb Software. Looks like sort of a biopunk horror, apparently, is what they're mentioning here, and it is due October 21st of this year. I have seen it. I don't know how I feel about it. To be honest with you, I just feel. I
Dude, don't
mean,
you think?
when things get close, and it's like, okay, there's a lot of detail here, but when you go far, it's like, well, it's a lot of just. I guess maybe it's a color palette. It's
No,
just
no.
got
It's
one color
definitely,
palette, you know?
the choice of color palette and the art style, because it is that
It's definitely body horror.
H.R.
It's a lot of
Geiger
yeah,
art
yeah.
style. It's actually it might as well be, and I think it is that's what they're going for 100%. So we're not talking about a colorful,
Mhm.
or crazy like daylight beautiful shooter. No, everything looks bleak. Everything like it's purposely drabby that way, but it goes with the art style. Obviously, if you've
Yeah,
seen
yeah, yeah.
an HR
Mhm,
guy painting,
mhm.
you know what I'm talking about. Now, uh, I think it looks very biological and very creepy. It looks fantastic, but I've also heard this game has had a rough development cycle,
Mm.
and also on the gameplay that we saw, it looked amazing. It looked graphically. I thought it looked amazing, but there wasn't a lot of things that you were interacting with. The things that you were interacting with, yeah, they were kind of cool in the way you were doing it, but it looks it you know what game reminded me of, believe it or not, even though it couldn't be more different at the same time. Remember Black?
Yeah, yeah, I remember Black, man.
Black
Yeah.
was, I feel like that game, it looked so good for the time that it came out. It looked so fucking good. And now actually I kind of saw it recently and I was like, ooh, maybe it's not as
Yeah,
good as I'm
it's been a
remembering it. But
while. Mhm,
it still looked
mhm.
amazing for its time and for
That was
and
PlayStation 2.
that was PlayStation 2,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly. And the graphics were also sort of like, well, this is a little bit more drabby, but it's because it's meant to look like ruined like that a little bit, like run
Mhm.
down, like very gritty. And the game ran pretty good, and it has some shooting that was very basic and very like almost no interaction with the world, with the
Yeah.
environment
It was all
itself.
shooting. That's it,
So it
yeah,
was
it was
all
nothing else.
a lot of show but not substance, and
Mhm.
this could fall into the same pit. So who knows? We'll see. I don't expect it to be anything extraordinary, but if I am surprised, I'm glad that it's gonna be on Game Pass because I'll get to play that. I don't know. It looked cool.
Yeah.
I thought the graphically, like, it was what they were going for. They nailed it.
Yeah. The yeah, the way the look and the feel, it wasn't my cup of tea, but I could definitely say they leaned into it, and that's their choice. So
Right.
I
Right.
definitely give them that much.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so there's a few here that we can probably skim through real quick, and then we have
Mhm.
Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn, which is a game from the indie developer that made Ashen. This is set to come out. It's supposed to be a Souls-like combat game, which I looked at it. It is in third person, and I can see where the light Souls-like would be in there.
It
Coming out
looks a little
early
faster than that.
2023.
Yeah,
Huh?
it looks a little faster than that,
Mhm.
and I don't know, it the fact that it's from the maker of Ashen, like I liked Ashen.
That
I
was
know
a
a lot
pretty
of
good.
people were turned off by the art style itself, but the gameplay was solid.
Hmm.
If they can do the same thing here, then yeah,
Maybe,
I'm all upon.
maybe.
But we're gonna have to wait and see. But
Yeah, that's definitely a
developer
wait and
prove
see.
themselves to
Yeah.
me. Did you ever
Next game I
play?
have,
Did you ever play Ashen?
I did. We had our episode where we all recommended a game to each other, and you recommended that one,
Oh, that's
and
true. Yeah, you were
um,
like, I'm not.
I
I
didn't.
don't.
Yeah, I played for a few hours, but I just didn't. It didn't do it for me.
It was
Uh,
would you say it was the world itself, or would you say it was that the art, that the fighting? Like, did you find a you played Souls game? You know what to expect from them,
yeah,
right?
I felt like it was a little too Souls light. It was like
Right.
it's like
Yes.
it wanted to use that, but it didn't want to punish you. But it
No.
also made the world obtuse. So
Yeah.
it's like if you, for me, it's like if you're going to do it, then go all the way in. Otherwise now you're half-assing every element, and
No, because yeah. I mean, yes, yes, but I'm glad that it exists as it is because not everybody might have want to go all in. At least
yeah,
they
yeah.
have a
No, I
choice.
got you. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. It still feels like everything felt like it was a half
A
measure.
committing,
The
right.
graphically, the characters weren't modeled, whatever, and then the world itself was okay and also kind of a little bland. The combat was, Souls inspired, but
Yeah.
not that,
Heavy eating.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not that rewarding on top of that.
Yeah.
And so it's just like everything felt like you just wanted to do a little bit of it, but not a lot. And then that's what it felt like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Also,
what I
you
got.
played it after the Souls, so yeah, I can see.
Yeah, I mean that too. Yeah, it could. Yeah, because I think you didn't go back until after that. Yeah.
Right.
But anyway, next game I had was Minecraft Legends, which is a brand new Minecraft spinoff. that is set to launch in 2023.
Godspeed.
Yeah, no interest on this. Obviously, this is coming day one to Game Pass because they're all in the same camp.
No interest in Minecraft.
Ditto. Lightyear Frontier, due in spring 2023. Lightyear Frontier is an upcoming non-combative open world farming adventure. Looks adorable. No interest.
Godspeed.
Yeah, Godspeed indeed. Gunfire Reborn. Gunfire Reborn launched on PC and mobile back in 2020. Is coming to Game Pass this October. Level-based adventure game featuring first-person shooting, roguelike, and RPG elements. And procedurally generated levels. It's losing me as I read this. So,
I was to say FPF, first person furries.
There you go. That's right.
A big cup of nope.
Oh, but and next, The Last Case of Benedict Fox. This one looked a little interesting. Due out in 2023. A 2D side-scrolling Metroidvania with strong Dark Souls vibes, of course, because everything has that now. Set in a world named Limbo. I like the art style. I'm not gonna lie. This is one of those little games that just the way it does it is like, oh, it catches my eye. I kind of like that. Plus, it's promising, engaging, and emotional storytelling, which I can always get down with. And another Game Pass day one entry. Another one here that is very narrative heavy. It's actually interactive drama, and that is As Dusk Falls. Due out on July 19th. Also day one game shot. This is an interactive drama. Follows the story of two families live in a small town in Arizona in solo or multiplayer, up to 8 players. Interesting. And similar to the supermassive Until Dawn games, but definitely not the same art style. If you have seen this, you have a lot of great voice acting from what I can hear, but mostly stills, as it's playing out. But it looks cool. I'm definitely curious about it. I don't know if that's going to be if it ends up staying just on the Microsoft side, but who knows?
It's a game of choices also.
Yes.
It's one, like, it reminds me of was it not Too Human? What the hell was that game called? Detroit
Become Human. Yeah.
Become Human. Thank you. Yes. In the choices of that. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like the art style itself.
The art style is definitely you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it.
Yeah, you're either gonna super love it or not care about it, much. Yeah. But it does look like this is story heavy, and it's one of those make your own stories, which I thought you were gonna be more into.
I am. That's what I'm saying. I am curious about it, but I mean, it's like hopefully it'll come over, it'll jump camp to another another ecosystem, and I can get around to it. I don't know if it's supposed to be.
I mean, if it,
we'll see. Next game I have is Naraka Blade Point, which is an action battle royale game. The what?
I say, hey, so it's coming on PC, and you just steamroll through that, like
steamroll through it. Yeah, sorry. I know.
Hey, listen. Okay, so a lot of these games are also being released
on PC,
Xbox Cloud. How about that? What if Xbox Cloud is a thing?
I don't know. I don't use this for gaming. It's just that's what it comes down to.
No. I'm not saying use a PC. Cloud is playable on your TV. It's probably gonna be an app that you download, just like whatever. And,
then maybe. I mean, it's possible. Yeah, I mean that wouldn't be, as long as I can play it on the TV. Yes, then that would, because that's where I game, bro. That's where I game.
This, it wouldn't necessarily, like, it doesn't need to be twitchy or anything like that.
For this, yeah, exactly. It can have a little lag, and I wouldn't even care. Yeah, I agree. For this particular game, yes, I can definitely do that. But I also have now a service that I've just paid another into. So we'll see if I'll jump that. Which, by the way, is $120 for the year. So I'm basically paying for Prime twice a year. So, FYI.
Do
Anyway,
I get to play it with the friends and family?
if it allows me, I would. Yes, I will tag you in immediately. I should check on it. I don't think it will, but I will check
I
on it
don't think
if
it
it does.
will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Next thing I say was Naraka Blade Point, which we can skip by, but it's an action battle royale game from 24 Entertainment, and NetEase, 60-player PvP action combat. Looks cool, but not for me.
Must be.
Yeah, exactly. Developed by Obsidian, Pertinent is due in November this year as a multi-branching narrative adventure game. Looks cool,
Okay.
but this is definitely going to be sitting on Microsoft camps, and this is Obsidian.
What the hell
Um,
is this, bro?
oh,
Like, I don't know.
this is not for you, bro. This is not for you.
No, no,
Not for you.
it just doesn't look
Yes.
it.
See,
Okay.
yeah.
You're interested in
You have
that? Would
nothing
this
to see
tickle
here.
your fancy?
I like things like that. I like weird shit like this. You know what I mean? And
Oh,
and
that's
and
what
I'm
it
not
is.
gonna lie. Sometimes I end up not liking it when I get it. But dude,
Uh,
sometimes I run into the occasional Virginia. You know what
right.
I mean? And I'm like, wow. And then I play that shit like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, oh, this is so good. So that's what I'm looking for. Anyway, update Obsidian's Grounded, which is effectively, if anybody's seen Honey I Shrunk the Kids, is finally coming out of early access,
Nice.
and it will be available September 2022. Uh, Again, not interested in this, but apparently there's lots of players
It
playing
looks
it so
cool.
far.
It looks cool, but again, one of those that I don't have friends to play with, so
Agreed.
it's not for me.
Yeah, agreed. Uh, Ereban, which Shadow Legacy, which is a third-person isometric ninja-style action game, looks pretty cool. Coming out
Very cool.
2023, also available on Game Pass. This is being published by Raw Fury, which actually they're starting to catch my eye because they tend to have a lot of those little games that I like. Um, any interest in this, sir? It looks
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. It looks the art style looks cool. The idea of it
Mhm.
also, the fact that you seem to be able to just it I mean, obviously you walk and you attack and all that, but you hide in the shadows and you like slide and move through the shadows, uh, like very fluidly.
Interesting. I didn't think you cared for. You're not a big stealth person, but yeah,
No, but I mean, but this looks different. This looks fast. This looks
yeah,
action packed. You know, this
yeah. It
doesn't look.
does.
This is not the slow, methodical. Like, oh, I need to wait until the patrol finishes. Although, who knows? This might be just a trailer because the person needs to show the best of the trailer. Maybe I get to play it and it is and I end up playing it like that. Like, oh shit, I need to be
Maybe, yeah.
methodical on this.
All right, let's get to it. Blizzard announced that Diablo 4 is coming to Xbox
Woo!
Series X and gave us a first look at the action RPG running on next gen hardware. Sir, it is set to come out in 2023. Doesn't really have a specific release date, but got to see a lot of it. Where are you with this one
What? Oh,
after the last one?
oh well, see that puts it, and this is such a shame, because it colors the whole thing, and you have to admit it absolutely does. Uh, in the face of Diablo Immortal, it's like what the fuck? Like you wouldn't even. I mean, you wouldn't even touch a Microsoft game after after Diablo Immortal. To be quite honest with you, because what the fuck. But I am a Diablo player fan, and I will not support fucking Immortal. I'm not even gonna care to download it to even try, and I don't care about it. But I will. I am super stoked for 4. Uh, it looks gritty. It looks very dark. It looks exactly like what we wanted 3 to be, but 3 ended up being just fucking unicorns and rainbows. For some reason they went that way because 2 was as dark, and this one looks like there are they heard the people that didn't like 3, and they're like pulling all the stops and making this fucking violent. Um, I don't care. I don't like the fact that they stuck to the same classes already, like the exact same ones. They did not bring anything new, and you could tell that on the expansions they're also gonna bring the paladin and the other one that they and the druid probably if it's not here already.
It is, yeah. They mentioned that here.
Oh,
Necromancer class, which is the commander there, will join Barbarian, Sorceress, Rogue, and Druid.
these are great games because the Diablo games because they are games that is fun progression, which is what I enjoy,
Mm.
and is that and is that loot those games where the getting new loot on it, it like it kind of what is it called when it kind of like there's a it fucks with your mind a little bit when it gives you that
Oh, dopamine.
dopamine effect. Yes, yes, yes. Dopamine effect of getting the new items. You know, when you kill the bosses and suddenly there's like this fucking fountain of things that starts pouring out, and you see that one legendary that falls, and you're like, yes. Oh, dude, I am all in on Diablo 4
Okay.
without a fucking doubt. But
I
yes, I recognize that on the face of Diablo Immortal, like if there's just a fucking hint, because Diablo 4 is gonna have
something.
it's gonna have its cosmetic. They already told they already say, oh
Yeah.
no, we're playing everything's gonna be cosmetic. It's not gonna be like that. It's gonna be cosmetic. But yeah, fuckers. But who the hell's gonna believe you now? And
I
that's the
mean,
thing.
think about it. Diablo 3 had the, what was that called?
The
The
fucking
auction?
the the the
Auction house.
the real money auction house.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the auction house. That blew everybody up. Diablo Immortal has what it has. That blew everybody up. It's like at this point, you've already burned roads several times. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
so,
But in Diablo 3 they reversed
yes, but
and
that's still
hardcore.
yeah, they reversed it, but it's the same thing where I'm like, okay, you still showed your intent. You still show
Right,
what you wanted to do. And guess what? What you wanted to do spilled over into Diablo Immortal, right?
right.
You know what I mean? It's like that's still it's a different way of doing it.
Right. But we all
But
knew that Diablo Immortal was going to be that. I mean, it's as a mobile game. The moment it got announced, everybody booed.
yeah.
Because
But I'm just saying it's still
you
and
just didn't know the
they booed
extent.
mostly because it was supposed to be a mobile game. And hey, everybody has phones, right? But
Yeah.
you immediately knew it's like, oh, you're doing this because you're looking for a revenue stream.
Right.
And
Right.
the last revenue stream didn't work, the auction house. Now you're doing it again. This, I don't know if it's working. I have no idea. I know reviews wise, it's
Oh,
not
this
doing
is
good.
mega working.
But
Of
so
course,
now here
because
we are with Diablo 4, and it's like, okay, well, now, yes, there are question marks, lots of question marks. But
right.
it's not, it's again, just because they reverse it doesn't necessarily eliminate what happened because
No, and
that
to be
still
honest with you,
shows an
I
intent,
wouldn't touch my Diablo 4 if it came out of the gate with shit like that. The problem is that you don't know until it's late. Because now reviews are not reviews of that shit until it's found out. So they always have a way of fucking with the message. So maybe you wait a little bit and see. Uh but I know that I mean they are getting the brunt of I mean Diablo Immortal is literally the lowest score Metacritic game right now for user reviews. They must know that they can't afford to fuck up like that with Diablo 4.
yeah, and
But
now they're
Blizzard,
under the
oh, who knows?
the Xbox. Well, I guess not
Oh yeah,
technically,
exactly.
you know what I mean, but
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Now with Philly, well,
Philly
Philly's
Spence.
gonna yeah.
That's right.
They
That's
gotta
right.
know that even Diablo Immortal, I expect it to change at some point. It's just that that's a mobile game, and that
Hmm.
is meant to be like that. And it might change from mega shit to shit. It's still shit, you know.
Fair enough. You heard it here. The next game we have is Sea of Thieves, which is season 7. My God bless
Yeah.
that game. That's still going. Season 7
Oh
is
yeah.
set to land on July 21st, 2022. Props to Sea of Thieves. I remember when we first watched it, I was like, oh, that looks like something it would be cool. I know you don't like pirates and shit like that, but I
Yeah.
looked at it, I was like, if it can deliver on what's going to deliver, I think it'll be good. And here we are in season 7. They're still
Yeah,
kicking.
people like that. People like that game.
Yeah. So yeah, good stuff. The next game we have is Ravenlock, which from a studio called Coco Cucumber, creator of
Word.
a game called Echo Generation. This game is due out next year. It is an action adventure game with magic monsters, cacti, and big cats. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. Like you said, Godspeed. Um,
It looks like it looks like someone really wanted to do pixel art, but someone else wanted to do 3D, and then a third person came in and said, "Why we don't do both?"
porque no los dos.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly what it was. Next game is Cocoon. This one is definitely catching my eye. This is a new indie
This one is
game.
definitely going Godspeed for me.
A new indie game. It'll test your lateral thinking and puzzle solving. This is, of course, set to come out in 2023. It will come to straight to Game Pass. It is from one of the principal creators of Playdead's Limbo and Inside. So that obviously caught my ear, and it looks
That's
to
the only
be
part
a
where I
puzzle
got
game
excited.
that Mr. Santos is clearly not interested in. So we're gonna move on.
No, if you want to talk about it, by all means.
I mean, no, it looks really. This is my jam, bro. I love oddities like this, and
Yes, you do.
I just I need strange.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You do
Um,
need Doctor Strange. Yes.
Next game is Wu Long Fallen Dynasty. This is also set out to come out on early 2023. Neo fans will definitely enjoy this. This is Team Ninja back in their action groove. Any interest in this at all, sir? It looks like another
Yeah.
one of their fast-paced, action, brutal stuff battles.
Actually, I've heard that. I've heard this is actually more Neo, which I guess Neo was a little bit of
Yeah, I was gonna
actiony.
say that's what.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I am interested in seeing this. Obviously, I need to see what they do, but if it's anything like Neo, then oh yeah, by all means.
Yeah, I can agree. I actually have Neo 1 and 2, and I still need to.
Shit.
I want to go back to Neo because I was really enjoying it. I don't know what
Neo
the
was
hell happened.
great.
Yeah, it was
I
great.
don't know why we
No,
stopped.
I have no idea. I have no reasons, but next announcement was Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 5 Royal are all coming to Xbox consoles. And in one fell swoop, Xbox is like, we love Japanese games, damn it.
I gotta confess, this is literal. All right, I had your phone number already. All I had to do was click dial. That's all. When I saw this, I fucking jump on my seat, literally, like fucking Final Fantasy VII remake was announced to you. I jumped on my seat and I was already dialing you, and then I decided to watch more of the trailer, and then I fucking realized this is the fucking PSP version of Persona 3. Maldita sea la puta.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
My heart sank. And it's not to say that the PSP version was bad. It's just that the PSP version, for those who don't know, Persona 3 Portable, was the one where they included a female character as your MC, as your main character, basically. Before that, it didn't have that, and that was cool. I wanted to play that, but then when I started playing, that game on PSP, and I realized, like, for some reason, you've made some changes here that I don't appreciate. And it's not like the game was super graphical. This was literally PS2, a PS2 game, PS2 era. So it was not that it was graphically intensive or anything like that. But at least while you were going through the world,
Mhm.
it was kind of like, you remember Persona 5, because you played
I
Persona
do. Yeah.
5, where the world moved. You went around places, of course, not that high fidelity like Persona 5, but you know what I'm talking about. It's like the world moves, you're moving around an area and it scrolls with you, and like you can't rotate it necessarily, but like it goes with you, right?
Yeah. It's moving
Um
along. Yeah.
in this version, the Persona 3 portable version, the worlds were static. It was like, let's say if you were in the mall, in Polonia Mall, it'll be, instead of running around the areas of the mall, it'll be like the entire screen is the mall, and then you were a cursor selecting who you wanted to talk to, because it's the portable version. It's like, why? like we, well, actually, I understood why. It was because it was a PSP version,
PSP,
and
yeah, running
they
out
probably that controller was shitty already. So it was trying to make it a little easier, but still, it still was unnecessary for them to change that, and I was so disappointed. And now to hear that here it is, your first opportunity to play Persona 3 finally, and is hobbled like this. It's like, no.
It's yeah, it's a little disappointment. Hopefully it can come over to PlayStation Plus eventually. Who knows?
I mean, even if it's like this, I will still recommend it, because you gotta try. Dude, Persona 3 is my favorite Persona of all of them all. And Persona 4 was great. Persona 5, judges.
Persona 5 was good. Let's call Persona.
Well, Persona 5,
we put over 100 hours or close to 100 hours on there. True. That's not a bad game.
No, bro. It's not. But I was playing it more. I was going through the motions more than I was enjoying what was happening. I remember Persona 4 is so. It's so.
I think it's
charming.
because it overstayed its welcome.
And 3
seriously.
It did. Yeah, it did. It absolutely did.
All right. Second to last, penultimate announcement. Hideo Kojima is collaborating with Xbox Game Studios for a game called We have no fucking clue. Yeah, no clue whatsoever, because they didn't say.
This was long rumored. This rumor starting of E3 last year, actually, when they started mentioning that. Oh yeah, Hideo Kojima is collaborating with Microsoft Game Studios on a particular title and whatever, but like nothing was known. This is actually there's no game to announce, so I don't know. Is this claiming that whatever he's working on is going to be available in the next 12 months?
Apparently, because
no, it's not.
I mean, this is honestly the same thing. Let's be real. Let's call this what this is. When Sony first got together with Kojima Productions, it was him and something house, I can't remember his name, from Sony getting together. They were talking about it, we were collaborating, whatever. We had no game, but we knew we had the talent. That's how Sony was like, we don't have the game, but we have the talent, and you guys need to be excited. This is Xbox doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So chances, whatever it is whatever is that coming to Xbox, guys, you are getting a game from a true video game auteur. Appreciate it. We looked at and there's no doubt about this. When we looked at freaking Death Stranding, we're like, I don't know what this is. This is crazy. Whatever. It makes no sense. We play this game, and for some freaking reason, it is way better than it needs to be. And it's one of the. I would argue this is one of the best original games. Period.
Yeah. I will.
I will
accompany you in that sentiment.
Just one of the best original concept games where it sounds like it should be a chore, and yet you're fascinated by what you need to do with it.
I still want to play it, believe it or not. I still want to play more.
But again, this is what I'm trying to say. This is what I'm trying to say. It's like, this is them showing off, hey, we've scored a game with this mastermind.
Yeah,
and that's all it was. It was just.
Dick.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did.
Believe you me.
I'm sure they did. So, Xbox guys, you should be excited that you have whatever the hell he's got. You don't know what it is. We don't know what it is, but we all know. We who've played Death Stranding know you're going to get something original and very precious.
Yes.
So you should definitely be happy for that. And of course, the last one on the list, guys, Starfield. Yes, we got to see some Starfield gameplay for the first time. Let's see. We got some in-game features for the new RPG, which include the fact that there are over 100 systems and over 1,000 planets to explore. A fully customizable spaceship, which you can fly yourself. We also saw some.
You can make
combat.
yourself also.
You can also make yourself. You're right. Yes, absolutely.
Build your own.
Mining in third person, interacting with different factions, sir. Where are you at? Did they blow up your skirt?
I'm gonna reverse this one to you. How did you feel about it first?
So I'm of two minds. First off, just going by visuals, just going by what you see and what they're presenting, it looked really good. But it immediately invoked, like I even sent it to you guys as I was watching. I'm like, wait, is this No Man's Sky? This feels very No Man's Sky like, you know what I mean? And then we saw some more gameplay as it goes. I was like, okay, well, it's a little bit, maybe a little different than No Man's Sky. And then later on, it's funny. Later on, just side note, later on, I saw somebody actually post, I think on IGN or one of these places ago, like, somebody said it, so they took gameplay, just put it side by side. It's like, okay, well, yeah, I guess it is a lot like No Man's Sky. Anyway, my initial impressions are it looked really good. It promises a lot. It's promising a lot from someone who promised a lot before.
Yes.
And because of that, everything that was said was taken with a grain of salt. So, and this is a slice. I remember watching Fallout 76 stuff. I remember you pre-ordered it immediately as we were watching it, because that's how amazing it was presented. And don't get me wrong, I get Bethesda is now under the on the umbrella of Microsoft. So, one would assume things are different, but maybe not. A lot of these big companies go, no, they run themselves and we just help as we need to go. So I don't know, bro. I was impressed with what I saw. It looks expansive. It looks like it could be something special, but it also looked like No Man's Sky. And because there was even mining involved, materials. And I was like, ooh, I don't know about resource management. I don't know if I want to go. That's the reason why I stopped playing No Man's Sky. I only played No Man's Sky for a few hours. I was like, okay, no, this is already getting a little tedious. And so it looks like it could be good, but it also looks like it could just be for me, just not for me. I should have said it. It looks like it could be really great, but it also looks like it will not speak to me if it was even accessible in another ecosystem. And I also don't trust Todd Howard and Bethesda. And so that's my thoughts. I'm sorry, that's my thoughts. I didn't mean to go too long. What do you think?
No. I wanted you because you always have my thoughts first, and I wanted this one to be completely pure and uncolored. So because I do have some things to say about this. First of all, not a bad showing.
No,
just like you said. It looks it has it. I like the art style. I'll give you 100% behind the art style. This game is not No Man's Sky, and you don't have to worry about that level of resource management. It's not gonna be like that. This is. And they have already mentioned it, and actually he had to reiterate it again because once they show that ship in space, people started speculating like, oh my god, No Man's Sky. And once he mentioned planet, oh my god, No Man's Sky. No, the game is No Man's Sky. He said it's No Man's Sky, and he reiterated the fact that this is a narrative game, one that, believe it or not, is not even that long at that. 30 hours.
Who's he?
Todd Howard. 30 hours at that.
Yeah. That's about a Fallout game.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So you're gonna show me this expansive, like crazy, like is thousands and thousands of planets. You gotta tell me I can beat this game in 30 hours, then that means that a lot of it is just fluff, nothing. That it's the equivalent of you see that mountain, you can go over there. Yeah, but what is on that mountain? That's the question. So that said, and the fact that we don't have to worry about it being No Man's Sky, also because he mentioned you don't get to fly fluidly from the planet to space, because this fucking engine cannot pull that off.
He didn't say that, but we know that's what he means. Yeah.
We know that is the reason.
Yeah.
And here is where I'm go into my other feelings. When I heard Starfield, I was very curious. I wanted to know, but I always said, this is Todd Howard game. This could be Skyrim, or this could be fucking Fallout 76. I got the vibes of it being more of Fallout 76 than a No Man's Sky, and I'll tell you why. The only thing that the guy had a suit, a spacesuit, and it's a bubble spacesuit. Like that's the only thing that makes it look a little bit like No Man's Sky to me. Nothing else did. But you see the engine, and you see it works exactly like all the other, like all the previous.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah, like nothing's changed. You get to talk to people. Guess what? The people are gonna be straight on your face, tugging like a freaking automaton. Like people talk to you like that, right? When someone approaches you from work to talk to you, they stand straight up.
Yeah, shoulders towards you, straight back. Yeah, they stare. Yeah,
talk to you. So that's what this game is showing me. It's showing me a lot of procedurally generated planets where it's probably just gonna be a bunch of nothingness. Like, I am not trusting them to pull this off, especially with the insane amount of bugs that this game is gonna come out that I already expect that is it's not that they could. No, I will bet high money on game breaking bugs. I'm not talking about silly T-poses. No, I'm talking about save corrupting or fucking like not able to finish quest type of bugs. This engine is old. This engine should have been scrapped a long time ago. I don't know why they decided to continue using this thing for it. I am very worried. I'm very worried for Starfield, bro.
I
am not optimistic.
Zero confidence on Todd Howard in general. I have a gameplay loop happening
to say
here,
the least.
and as I'm watching it, first you can tell that the frame rate's not exactly the best.
The frame rate is super janky, but this is early. This is
definitely early, but it was also some of the one of the character or the whoever you are walks or in that like these crab creatures wake up when you get near them and they start to run off and then they run off and they're also kind of jaggy
as they run. Like same way that they run on Fallout. Fallout 4. Like this is I mean, taken for what it is, it does look great as a Fallout sequel, as a and I don't mean like a literal Fallout sequel. I mean in the sense of spiritual. The next iteration of this engine, it's supposed to look like this. Yes, I would have expected no less. It looks good, and I like that minimalistic HUD design also. And I like the idea of the space battles and stuff like that. But I don't believe they can pull it off. And at the end of the day, this is honestly 100% wait for reviews.
Oh, yeah. If this is not, if this is a super, I don't have an Xbox or anything like that, but even if it wasn't, and Bethesda was still making games for everyone, this would still be a wait for. Right? It would.
Especially after Fallout 76.
Oh, absolutely, bro. This is. There's moments in the thing where I don't know if the AI was acting crazy, but the AI just kind of ran out and into the middle of the thing and just kind of sat there and got shot. And you're like, okay, well,
just like in Fallout 76.
Yeah, I was like, okay,
76,
and so yeah, I agree. I mean, they know how to show off a game, I give them that much, man. They know how to get, vertical slice, man. They are fucking masters of that
Oh,
shit.
they look. It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
And taking on its own piece by piece. Oh yeah, those space battles, like it got me salivating. It's like take it, Robert, Space Industries, the guys that are doing Star Citizen. You got beat at your own game.
Yeah.
Speaking of Star Citizen, I'm gonna leave that for the end. But go ahead.
Okay. No, I don't have anything else to say on that, and that's the last game that I have, because obviously the list I have went in order of importance, and so, but yeah, I honestly, I hope it's. I mean, for those who, you know what, just for Microsoft ecosystem, I hope it's good. I hope it delivers what it's trying to deliver. I have a 0 vote of confidence because of Todd Howard and everything from before. Even Fallout 4. Fallout 4 even had, it's just like, oh, so this is just a rehash of Fallout 3. Just prettier and, prettier game, I guess, maybe. But it was really the same. It was the exact same. And here we are again.
And this game could this is why I want people to understand that this is not No Man's Sky. It's because this is Fallout 5. This is that. It plays like that, and it moves like that. It talks like that. It's gonna be that. But in space.
Yeah. This is I don't know. I don't have anything else to say about it, but hopefully I'm wrong. I'd rather be wrong and there's a good game out there.
Oh yeah, I trust me, I do. As a big space game, space simulation, and in general, fan of sci-fi, if they can pull this off, dude, I'd be so ecstatic with this game. It's just, I fucking hate this engine. I already know what to expect, and I already know what this game is gonna deliver. Even if it looks like that and all metallic and shiny and nice or whatever, you can build your ship. Yeah, well, you can build your settlement in Fallout 4. It didn't make a fucking difference to me. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's cool, the idea of it, but
when they said building settlements, I'm like, oh, so we're doing that again. Okay, so we're definitely in the same. We're definitely playing the same game again. We're just playing in space, as you mentioned, and there's 1,000 planets, which I'm assuming 900 of them have very little going on.
It's just procedurally generated. Like, get resources from it, and you can land on it, but this is not going to be anything particularly interesting.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate, but well, guys, that there, sir. Any final thoughts before we?
I think we should. I think we should. Yeah, I think we should talk about final thoughts on the show, because I do. Like you put when you finish watching and you put it, I think you said like meh, and I was like, fucking PlayStation fanboy, god damn it. Like what else? Like what more do you want? They didn't bring anything like groundbreaking or stellar at all. Like there was no like one more thing moment, or they thought fucking Starfield was gonna be like, no. It was a nice closer, but no. But I think the whole thing with Microsoft being like, oh well, they gotta show games. Well, god damn it, this whole thing was literally, with the exception of Kojima, it was literally the games that are gonna come out and in 12 months. Not all of them are going to speak to you.
Yeah, sure.
But just like on a Sony briefing, not all of those are gonna speak to us. But to have a few that at least call the attention, to have a few that at least have you looking forward to, and I realize I have a little bit more of them going forward, because they're either PC games or games or racing games, for example, that you're not gonna give a fuck about. But then by the same token, there are a lot of indie titles that speak to you more than to me. Is that that one, I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, I was literally like, what the fuck is this, boy? Like, no, show me a sport game rather than this. Why is Obsidian working on this thing? And Yeah, no. Like I thought they overall had a good show, and the problem is before they've had a good show, but you end up falling very disappointed because you don't realize that, oh, wait a minute, none of the fucking games that I announced here are coming out anytime soon. Maybe just like a handful, and everything else is like years and years ahead. Well, guess what? This whole fucking show was about the games that allegedly, supposedly, obviously, there are gonna be some delays, but for the most part, are gonna come this year. So I think that's something for at least for the fans to celebrate.
I mean, no, for sure. I think fans of Xbox and what that you got games coming to you. So I'm not
And
personally
diversity of games. Like,
there. Yes, there's a diversity of games coming through, and you're getting some classics as well on top of that. So that's always, to me, that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, by this, first off, I said met towards the halfway point of the of the thing, so I wasn't. I hadn't even seen.
I saw it at the end when I didn't realize that you.
Oh, okay. It was so halfway. I was like, that's what I said. So far, and so there were some, and some of these stuff is coming to PlayStation as well. You know what I mean? And they're not locked into that side of the of the spectrum. No, so exactly. some of the items that I was like, okay, that'd be. I mean, hell, even Fallout 76, The Pit, like it or not, that's still coming to PlayStation. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah. That game is still PlayStation. So yeah,
exactly. So there's some stuff where it caught my eye and I was like, okay, that's cool, that's whatever. But it was just a lot. And what did catch my eye, and I think this was a continuous theme throughout the just everything we've seen so far from Summer Games Fest or whatever or summer whatever, everything that we've the shows that have been presented so far, and that is that there is stuff happening, but the major big pieces are still cooking, and that's the theme that I've gotten so far from all these showcases. And the ones that are major that are coming out, they are remakes, remasters, re-releases. You know what I mean? Maybe some sequels. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, where's the original stuff? The original stuff is all in the indie market as per usual. But even then, at that point, after watching Guerrilla Games, Future Games, I can't remember what the other one was, and it was just like, oh my god, all the pixel art. It's like, I don't know. I think I walked away from most of this kind of jaded, just kind of like, I don't know if I'm, I don't know if I'm motivated to play anything of these things at the moment, because I'm just like, it's a lot of more of the same, and I feel like I'm just in that sort of mindset because the big players, Microsoft themselves, have no real big ones that I can think of. Sony has yet to, really
speak for yourself. Plague Requiem, Forza Motorsport, Diablo
Plague,
4.
Yeah, Plague is
Diablo 4 is coming to PlayStation, I think.
Well, sure, but that's good for people who like Diablo. But no, yeah, you're right. Plague,
and
but that
Microsoft wants you to believe that Starfield is big. I'm sure they want you to believe that,
and I'm sure it will be in its own way. A Plague Tale, I knew already. It's not like it was just announced. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's one of those things like, okay, I get it, and I still want it. And thank you for showing me another set of cutscenes that will probably spoil a little bit of the, it's like, I just, at this point,
gameplay, though.
I just need the game, and I just hand me the game. I already know about it. It's cool that they showed it off, but if you've already seen it, then the more you see it, the less you're excited you can be about it sometimes. You know what I mean? For me, some people get off on that, which is why, I mean, fucking Spider-Man freaking was coming to Sony to the first Insomniac Spider-Man. Dude, they were fucking showing that every freaking time they had an announcement, they were showing that shit off. And it's like, guys, stop. I just want the game. I don't care to see anything else anymore. You know what I mean? And so at some point you can basically, to me,
This,
again, you
I,
can go. The result can actually be worse than it is that they're trying to go for. And so
I need to remind you that this is a show about the games that are gonna come out in the next year,
I know,
with
I
the
know,
exception
and
of
I'm just
Kojima.
saying. I mean, Plague Tale, I knew was coming, so it's like, okay, that was now, which probably would be of every game that they showed here in the Xbox One would probably be my highlight. But I already knew it was coming. You know what I mean? The things I did discover, the one like the Benedict Fox, the other one that you thought was weird, you know,
Oh, that yeah, the
Cocoon.
stadium one.
These are like, oh, those look good, those look interesting, but they didn't, they didn't suddenly blow me away. It's like, okay, well, I will
Wulong is coming
probably
to
wish list
PlayStation
it
also, I think.
and come around to it eventually. Um, so that's what I'm trying to say. It wasn't, and don't get me wrong, like I said, Summer Games Fest kickoff left me the same way. Capcom was cool, but okay, I kind of knew all this already from thanks to Sony's thing. Sony's thing was cool, but it again, it just, I don't know. I think I'm just jaded, bro. I'm just jaded. We'll leave it at that. Just fucking jaded at this point. But no, I think that overall it was a solid showing on their part. Um, 95 minutes sometimes is one of those things where like, oh, even when Sony used to go that long too, I was just like, come on, Sony, it doesn't need to be that long. But it is what it is.
But there were trailers though. There was zero talk on this. On the extended version though.
Oh no, the extended stuff was it was all commentary. Yeah, it was
That
all
was
commentary.
all
Yeah,
but this one was not, which is also appreciated. They didn't, the person with the most time there were two: Kojima, because he didn't really have anything else to say, else to show, and obviously Todd Howard, because he has to talk about, because I mean that is what
that's
Microsoft
a
wants
showcase.
to
Yeah,
be,
yeah, yeah. That was a showcase. Absolutely. Yeah.
Starfield. And I might sound jaded about Starfield, but it's because it's for the same like they already got me in Fallout 7.
I was gonna say it's because of you're jaded because you've been jaded. You know what I'm saying? It's not you're not jading yourself. They've jaded you. Yeah. So I don't blame you at all for feeling that way. And like I said, I feel the same way. So but anyway, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. That is the end of our awesome episode 319 in the books. If this is your first time again, please go to goodgame.rocks, join the conversation there, and of course, please like, subscribe, share the podcast with everyone. This is Mad Dog signing off this week, saying I feel the need for speed.
Wow.
Yes. Mr. David Santos, take us home.
No, I was just gonna close in with a mentioning about Star Citizen, because it
that's right. That's right. You mentioned
talking
that.
about.
Yes, yeah.
There's a video. First of all, I hadn't know how much they've done in this game in quite some time, because I'm not following the development of it or anything. But evidently it's still not fucking done, because of course there's no incentive to finish it. But what's there is it borderlines on ridiculous, as far as the trying to be realistic. But the experience that I saw, so I saw a group of 4 people, 4 gamers playing this, and in the game, if you commit a crime, you go to jail. And it is actually, if you commit a crime and get caught, you go to jail. And jail is literally jail, as far as you'll be in jail for hours. Obviously, it's not going to be years or days even, but it tells you, your sentence will be completed in so many hours, and those are hours that you can only do jail stuff. So work, mine.
Oh my god!
Do this, whatever. No, but what I saw, which was really really cool, was first of all, the guys get caught, they go to jail, and then it was a heist to escape jail.
Oh shit!
Sort of almost Shawshank Redemption in a way. and the whole thing was hilarious to watch because not only it was funny because the guys were being funny. This was not something like scripted or something professionally made or anything like that. No, this was just some dudes playing and recording. And you hear the plan of this guy going like, okay, I can, there's only one of us that can escape. Okay, I'm gonna escape. I'm gonna go, grab. I'm gonna come back for you guys on certain time. Be here, whatever. They find a way to escape through some tunnels. By the way, you have substances, so you gotta eat. Also, you gotta be careful of not falling because you could die. You could die, and obviously that's bad time. So it took a lot of careful planning where one guy managed to escape on his own. The other, and because they're trapped on a planet, they need to get he needs to find a way to get a ship to get and pick up his buddies. His buddies managed to escape. Suddenly the cops find out, and suddenly they have the whole station after them, and you see bounty hunters, which is other players, trying to gun for them, and the whole thing, they're running from them. Very, very cinematic and very silly because at the same time they're playing, so you hear them making silly comments and like, oh my god, but at the same time communicating in ways of, like, do you copy, hey, and they managed to get to this place, and oh my god, I'm running out of oxygen, oh my, and they find a transport, and they go in, and it's like, oh yes, there's oxygen, oh my god, there's oxygen, and they get saved, and then they escape on that, on that. Again, very cinematic, very cool to watch, highly recommended. It's a long video, so I don't think you're gonna go through the whole thing unless it catches your interest, just for the fact of it being silly, not necessarily because it's Star Citizen. I don't know, it was really cool to watch him pull off an escape from, a jail escape on that game. And I guess obviously that has to have been a gameplay feature. I don't think it's something that they discovered by pure accident, because I can't imagine anybody being stuck in jail for 12 hours, actually, or 9 hours, something like that, something crazy like that.
Wow.
And it makes you realize, like, okay, it still doesn't justify what they're doing. I still think it is scammy, but you're letting them do their thing. They're going all out on doing their
Sounds
thing.
like they're delivering slowly,
very slowly,
they're delivering,
but it's kind of insane. I'm talking about ship combat. I'm talking about combat on foot, first person shooter with high fidelity graphics that you see, like everything, taking care of your hunger meter, of your tiners meter. If you get your ship blown, you better have insurance on it, like literal insurance, as in paying money for it, because it's kind of ridiculous. And Chris Roberts, this is fucking ridiculous. No one wanted this. All I wanted was another Wing Commander. I didn't need this.
And yet you gave him ceremony, but this is what he did with it. So
longest close thing ever, but I just needed to point it out because I have fun watching that video.
Well, sir, well done. Well done. All right, guys. Well, with that, we'll see you next week.